FNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
I know that we have done a lot of soccer over the last couple of weeks. Now, I'm not here to tell you that that is going to change. I mean, we do still have 3 more World Cup games left in Kansas City. There was one last night that I want to discuss, but I would say, a good deal of football topics that I would like to share with you guys today. I'm excited to get into it. Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. I want to thank the people at the Peanut for having us yesterday at the watch party. People were so nice and so friendly. I met a nice woman named Estelle. She encouraged me to just keep pushing even though I don't know how to grill. Rob, I may have a girlfriend. This older lady came over and she thanked me and said she could tell that I've been working out and that you could tell I've lost a little bit of weight since the last time she saw me, and she bought me a shot and said that she thinks about me. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. I gave her a nice hug. Oh, it was so great. I'm in a great mood today. Rob is in a great mood today. Tomorrow, we both are going to a World Cup game. I am excited about that. We got a lot to get into in today's show. Before we get into it, now, I know I said we have a lot of football, and I understand if soccer is not your thing, so I want you to know that I promise we'll take care of you today. We'll give you a good deal amount of Chiefs topics and NFL topics and some other things. We are going to start today with the World Cup. That's where we're going to begin. We will probably end there too, but we are definitely going to start at the World Cup, so I at least want to get you prepared for that. Before we do that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. You know what? I would greatly appreciate it if you told one person to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember to go stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. Maybe you are not going to the game tomorrow, but you want somewhere to go watch the game. Well, why don't you go watch it with our friends over at The Other Place? They're starting to add brunch to all 5 of the locations. And let me tell you, oh, it's fantastic. I go in there sometimes and I get the OP breakfast. I get myself a little bit of hash browns, a little bit of eggs, a little bit of bacon. They got the mimosas for $5. It's a fantastic deal. I kind of sit there and relax and have myself a nice brunch. I want that for you on a nice summer Sunday morning as well. They got the patio. They got the baseball going. They got the soccer going. They might have an old foosball game that they're showing on the television from back in the day. Who knows what kind of sporting fun they are going to be having over there at The Other Place. But all I know is I would highly encourage you to go stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. Rob, this is where I would like to begin. Now that we are halfway through with all of the scheduled Kansas City games, we have 6 games. We have already had 3 of them. I'm not really sure if the World Cup, from an on-the-field standpoint or the major events surrounding the World Cup, I'm not really sure if they could have gone much better than they've gone so far. We've already discussed this portion of it, so we don't need to completely dive back into it. If you are not going to the dedicated World Cup parts, your day, your life is not affected by the World Cup. If you are somebody that lives in Kansas, works in Kansas, and doesn't really venture too much over to the Missouri side, there's no problem with that. But you can't tell me that this World Cup has been some massive inconvenience for you. No, your day is the exact same. Now, if you're going downtown, if you're going to Fan Fest, if you live over by the stadiums, yes, I understand how your life has maybe been inconvenienced in some way by the World Cup. But for the vast majority of people listening, the World Cup has stayed out of your way if you want it to stay out of your way. We had a guest yesterday on the show, and Eric Graves, And I thought he made a really good point and a message that I think should continue to be shared in this. I think it is everybody's sort of civic responsibility to go experience some part of this. Maybe you are not going to one of the games, but the watch parties have been incredible. Fan Fest has been incredible. Just go downtown and walk around and see the amount of tourists and the interest and the energy surrounding everything with the World Cup. We've talked about this. There is no guarantee that Kansas City ever gets an event like this before, gets an experience like this before. So I don't want you to regret it. I don't want you to think that you should have done this, that you should have done that. No, while it's here, you still got time. We still got another 2 weeks of World Cup festivities. I want you to go experience all the World Cup things. I really think from how the 3 games have played themselves out so far and all the reports that we have gotten from FanFest, I think the World Cup so far gets an A grade. There was a little bit of issue with the transit and the shuttles to get you to the first game. It feels like a lot of those have been alleviated. I didn't hear near the conversation yesterday about shuttles. I didn't hear near the conversation for the second game that we heard. So it seems like they learned from some of the things that went wrong in the Argentina game, and they have smoothed over some of those problems, which is good because we got one more group stage game, and then we got 2 single elimination games coming up in the month of July. And every game and every match day has had its own theme. Day 1 was about Lionel Messi, and it was about 4 years of anticipation. We were told 4 years ago that Kansas City was getting a World Cup game. We were told probably 2 years ago that Kansas City was getting Lionel Messi for the first World Cup game. And you've been told so much about this great soccer player, that he's the GOAT, that he's the greatest soccer player that we've ever seen. And he goes out there and scores a hat trick in the first game that Kansas City has in the World Cup. He is the star of stars, and he goes out and puts on the best performance so far in the World Cup. You think about the second game in Curacao and one of the great goaltending performances in World Cup history, the second most saves that a goalkeeper has had in the World Cup. People are certainly going to remember that game. Now, Curacao, really not that good as a team. I think we've seen in the other 2 games that they've played. But for that day, for that performance, them holding to a 0-0 tie against Ecuador should be applauded by one of the great goalkeeper days. And yesterday was about the Netherlands. It was about the celebration of them as a country and the celebration of them as a team. I told this to Eric Graves yesterday, that the original estimation of how many people just didn't really make any sense to me. Now, I've been to a lot of Royals games in my life, so I think I got a good estimation of attendance. When they told me that only 22,000 people were at the Orange Walk yesterday, it just didn't really add up to me. I was thinking, all the people that I saw, you're telling me that only would have filled up half of Kauffman Stadium? We all have been at games at Kauffman when there's 22,000 people. It's still half empty. That is not the experience that we had yesterday if you decided to go down to the Orange Walk. Well, now we have new estimates, we have new numbers, new geo-tracking, or however they sort this stuff out. Now their new reported number is around 36,000. That makes a lot more sense to me. If all of the people that participated in a walk, that would have been a sold-out Kauffman Stadium, and that place would have been absolutely rocking. It would have felt like a playoff game with the buzz and level of energy that was in downtown. I will admit this because we spent a couple of days talking about it. Rob, tell me if you've heard differently. I haven't really heard too much problems with the 23-hour bar rule. Now, maybe I've just missed it. Maybe I haven't seen this video. Maybe I haven't heard this news report. But I do feel like if that rule was causing a significant problem, I feel like we would have heard about that by now. I think for the most part, the World Cup has been an A-plus experience so far. We are halfway done. We got a couple of more games. I do think that everybody is anticipating and circling right now what it could potentially look like for that last game. And if we could get Argentina going up against Portugal and 2 of the greatest soccer players of all time playing each other in what could be one of their final World Cup game, that will certainly be a massive, massive sporting event. But so far, as we are 50% of the way done with FanFest, 50% of the way done with the actual games at Arrowhead, I don't really know if you could have too many complaints about the World Cup and things, how they've gone so far. I told you guys that we have a lot of football coming up. I don't know why. I've been really intrigued by this Buffalo Bills stadium news and the fact that they have a new stadium being built and what that could potentially mean for us here in Kansas City as the Chiefs are the next team to start building a new stadium. We'll talk about that next. Keep it right here. So Drive.
You're listening to The Drive.
My man Carrington Harrison.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel's changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore with FanDuel's Super Sub. If your player subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. Your bet stays alive, keeping you in the action longer. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Super Sub covers the entire game, including extra time. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Look for the yellow Super Sub icon on the game page and the My Bets page. If your player leaves the match due to substitution or injury, your bet automatically transfers to the substitute who replaces them. Go to FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcast.
It is out of here.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the seventh inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or BPH could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. The world's game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2 up early payout so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Let's say you put your money on Leo Messi in Argentina. They go up too early in the first half. Well, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pre-game straight match result bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you will instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM's same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the world's game. You like Ronaldo in Portugal. You like Harry Kane in England. Whoever it may be, don't miss your shot at an early win with 2 up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals. Regardless of the final outcome of the match, make it a tournament to remember with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Right, soccer fans, listen up. If you'd like a proper celebration, come on, you know where to go this summer. Gordon Ramsay Steak inside Harrah's, Kansas City is the place to be. Now, we're talking beautiful marble cuts, cooked to absolute utter perfection, and flavors you can't get anywhere else. Stop settling for mediocre and let me help you. Come in, sit down, and let my team show you how to cook a proper steak. Now, 21 or older to gamble, know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, there are a couple things that I want to talk about in this segment. So maybe this is a false equivalent, but I think it is pretty applicable. As you guys know, the Buffalo Bills are opening up a new stadium. They're going to open up their new stadium this year. They had a long-time stadium. They built a new stadium. And as you would imagine, some of the rules are changing. They are adding a personal seat license. So for those of you that don't know what a PSL is, it is basically a cover that you have to pay. Then you can buy your season tickets. So for example, at SoFi Stadium, you have to buy a PSL. You have to buy one every 10 years. So let's say you got to pay $10,000 for your PSL. They will then break it down. You got to add an extra $1,000 a year onto however much you pay in season tickets. Now, you can pay that $10,000 in one time. I don't know if you got that kind of cash, but you could. However you want to do it, but you have to pay it every 10 years. It starts over. Now, what the PSL means, it means this is your seat. So if WrestleMania comes to Arrowhead Stadium, they would give you the opportunity first to buy your 2 tickets for that event at face. If the Eras Tour comes back, you get the first opportunity to buy those 2 tickets. You technically, in quotes, own that seat, and it is yours to do with it as you wish. So a lot of organizations use this as a way of generating money for themselves. The Buffalo Bills just announced a couple of days ago that they have generated $260 million in revenue from PSLs. That is not counting the $850 million in taxpayer public money that they have received. They got that money, and then they also got an extra $260 million from their fans. So their fans and the taxpayers have paid $1 billion into this stadium so far. It hasn't even opened yet. So I was scouring the internet earlier today, just getting ideas, getting topics for the show, and Bills fans are upset because of how much the tickets now cost to go to their new stadium. Here's the news report out of Buffalo.
Highmark Stadium officially open. Fans are eagerly awaiting this new season.
But some fans say they're already priced out of watching their favorite hometown team. Our Rob Petrie takes a look at what's behind the spike in price.
Well, some of Bills Mafia finding it pretty hard to get excited when it comes to the brand new Highmark Stadium because ticket prices, they say, are just far too high, and that's leaving them wondering whether or not they'll even be able to attend a game.
I probably will never see a game here.
Bills Mafia could be found in force in Orchard Park Wednesday, just a day after the ribbon was cut on the new Highmark Stadium. Fans from as far as Florida, Tennessee, and even Texas were admiring the outside of the new stadium when our cameras caught up with them. None of them were shy about voicing their opinions when it comes to the added price tag of tickets and all that goes with it to attend a game at the brand new home of the Buffalo Bills.
People that live here, and, they should be able to enjoy the stadium.
I only have one question. I think the question is a very simple question. Is this the future for the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm just trying to think of comparable markets to Kansas City. Now, Kansas City is bigger than Buffalo, but if we are talking about in terms of NFL market and size, I don't know if it's that much bigger. Tennessee has personal seat licenses. Buffalo has personal seat licenses. Allegiant Stadium has them in Las Vegas. SoFi has them. Atlanta's new stadium has them. This just feels like the future of what it is to be a season ticket holder for an NFL team. You are hearing in Buffalo that they're saying, hey, the people that have been able to afford these games and been able to go to the stadium for years, you guys have this new stadium. You're adding all of these new taxes, all of these new fees, all of these new things that we need to pay for, and we feel like we have been priced out of the experience. I know this is a fear that a lot of Chiefs fans have once they start to break ground and once they move across state line. Rob, is this the future of what going to a Chiefs game is going to be? Is this a conversation that we're going to have in 5 years that a lot of people who currently are able to go to Arrowhead are not able to go to whatever they call the new stadium?
I don't want to say yes. I really don't. I'm hopeful, optimistic, whatever term you want to use, that it's not the future. But I'm terrified it is because of what you said. It's happening everywhere. Buffalo is not some bustling metropolis full of billionaires. It's not. I mean, I don't know about Buffalo, but I have a hunch. It's not that. They're doing it there. Vegas did it there. LA did it there. Atlanta did it there. Even when some of those markets are different, fine. But too often, new stadium arises, PSL follows, and it's immediate aftermath. And then when you consider the fact that one of the big, hype, exciting moments for the new stadium is it's going to host things outside of the football games. The Final Four, there's a belief it can come here now with the new stadium. The Super Bowl, there's a belief it can come here now. The Women's World Cup could be coming to Kansas City at a new Arrowhead Stadium. I think there's too many events they want to put on at that new stadium for them not to go down the PSL path, which is frustrating, but also feels like how it's going to be played.
Yeah, I'm taking a closer look, too, at the prices for what a PSL is. I'm not going through the season ticket prices for them, but this is what it is for the PSL. So for the upper end zone seats at Buffalo's new stadium, it's an extra $750 to $1,000 per seat. So if you got 2 tickets, that's an extra $2,000 that they are charging you. That's for the right to be able to buy tickets. The $2,000 does not get you any tickets. It unlocks the privilege of you buying Buffalo season tickets. That is important to note. Now, you don't got to pay that $2,000 at one time. You can roll that into the cost of the tickets and just pay that over a 5-year, 10-year span. So that's what it is in the end zone. For the upper level sideline seats, it's between $1,500 to $2,500. For the lower level, $2,500 to $800 on the end zone lower level. And then on the sidelines, it's between $5,000 to $8,000. Rob, that's per seat. So think about whatever you currently pay for your season tickets as a Chiefs season ticket holder. Let's say you got some decent lower level seats, not some premium ones, but some decent lower level seats. Can you imagine paying an extra $5,000 before you ever receive a ticket? You haven't paid for parking. You haven't paid for preseason games. You haven't paid for any of the regular season games, not a postseason games. They're charging you an extra $5,000 for a pair of tickets before you ever buy your tickets. Oh, it's going to be expensive to go to a Chiefs game.
Yeah, if they follow this path, it is going to be very, very expensive. Now, I imagine if we had a member of the Hunt family on or some Mark Donovan who was talking about the pros of PSLs, if they were to go down that path, they would explain that you're paying a fee for the opportunity to do everything. It's not we hit you for a little bit here, hit you for a little bit there, but it does feel like this is the future, and it feels like fans hate this future, but owners across sports don't really seem to care that owners hate that fans hate this, excuse me.
Yeah, no, someone on the text line says even with the new PSLs at the new Arrowhead, there's no way they're going to let you keep the tickets for the Super Bowl or if we get another World Cup. Yeah, there's no chance they're letting your PSA count for the Super Bowl. They couldn't accommodate everybody. Not all the corporations and other teams and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I would just say for any non-Super Bowl, yeah, you probably still have access to it. Like, if you are a Chiefs season ticket holder, I think you will have access to the Final Four. There's just so many seats available. They want to get that guaranteed money. They'll give you the chance. Some people will buy in. Some people won't buy in. Yeah, that'll be the case. But I find it hard to believe. I find it very difficult to believe that new Arrowhead Stadium is not going to have personal seat licenses. I find it very, very difficult given the fact of all of these new stadiums have a personal seat license. Like, I know Atlanta gets a lot of credit for the way that they charge with concessions, and it's certainly great, like phenomenal that they end up doing this. They also have a personal seat license. So, I mean, greed normally starts somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, it starts somewhere. And the cheapest personal seat license at Atlanta Stadium is $750 for the upper level. $750. So, I mean, these are the terrible seats. These are the upper corners. They're charging you $750 per seat before you ever buy a ticket. So they have figured out a way to get your money in some capacity. They have just changed the caps from red to blue.
So you're telling me it's $750 up in where my seats are for the World Cup? Is that what you're telling me? And that's before I ever actually buy into anything else?
Yeah, see, I don't have the corner. You might have the upper corner. I got the upper, but I at least got on the side, though. I got the side. So my PSL, I'm sitting here looking at, I still have the sheet up. That would be $895 for the PSL and where I'm sitting. So, I mean, a little bit more. Not a whole lot more, but
they know it's better.
But I also got 10 years to pay this $895 too. You know what I mean? So an extra $80 a season. That's how they get you. They start to get you think, oh, that's not that much money. Yeah, over time, it certainly adds up. You got me here. You got me for an extra couple of grand over the course of these tickets because I got them. Yeah, no, they're going to get their money for sure.
Or what's going to happen is someone, let's use Buffalo, is going to convince himself, I'll pay the extra $80 over 10 seasons, I'll buy into all the events, and I'll sell the events to make the money back. You ain't making your money back at Monster Jam. You're saying they're holding an L for Monster Jam. You might not make your money back for every concert. That is how they get you nowadays.
All right, so let's switch gears. Let's get back to the World Cup here for a little bit. Actually, Josh Vernier is going to join us coming up at the top of the hour. There's a lot of Royal stuff to talk about. We'll get his thoughts on Jack Caglione. We'll get his thoughts on Cole Reagans, as Cole Reagans looks like he's headed towards another elbow surgery. There's a lot of Royals things to talk to Vern about. It's been a while since we had Vern on the show. Happy to have him on the show. We'll do that coming up in about 30 minutes or so. So let me just tell you how our last night went. The Peanut had us out. And they could not have been nicer people. They made us some nice wings. We tried the different flavors. We were talking so much about it. We had to try them. My friends came up. Rob, your people came up. People's relatives came up. It was a really, really great time. At the 43-minute mark, Rob came over and was like, yeah, I'm getting out of here. I'm sitting there looking. Where are you going? They're still playing soccer. Rob's like, nah, man, we gotta go. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Well, you know what? I stayed and watched the whole game. Yes, I sat in that seat for the entire United States men's soccer team. I'm dedicated to this. I don't know if Rob is. Now I'm starting to see why you guys gave Rob so much grief a couple of days ago about the United States, because he's a traitor. He's not loyal to this. He's not true to this. I am true to this. So, Rob, I didn't even get a chance to ask you this. Now, I understand that the game didn't really mean a whole lot to the United States. They had already clinched their group. We already know who they're going to play. They're going to play Bosnia. But momentum is a thing. Before I get your opinion, here is Colin Cowherd. He was asked if he's worried about what happened last night with the United States.
Don't freak out. Take a deep breath. What you watched last night with the United States men's national team, let me put it in domestic football terms. We had clinched the playoff spot. We clinched the playoff spot. It's week 17. We played backups and lost on a field goal on the last play of the game. That's what happened. It's not about going unblemished. Argentina won the last World Cup. They lost. It's about winning your group stage, staying healthy, and preparing at your best with momentum for the knockout stage. Don't get clouded on this. 8 goals in 3 games.
So that is Colin Cowherd on what happened last night. Now, Rob, I'm not here to overly panic. I'm not here to fearmonger. I understand the United States played a lot of backups yesterday. I get it. But we all know that depth matters. Depth is important. An injury could happen. You might need to make a sub. So you need to have some quality backups. What is your reaction to how the game ended yesterday? Do you think it means anything that the United States was not able to hold on and at least get a draw in last night's match?
It means literally nothing. Me and Colin see this the same way. Now, are there individual players I would like to see more from last night because there are subs that you would like to potentially use in certain situations going forward? Yes, not when you lose 3-2, there are definitely issues, but this was the backups. This was the third preseason game. This was a game that didn't matter. there were still some positive things in there. They went up 1-0. They looked good in set pieces. Sebastian Berhalter actually looks like a player that can play at the World Cup level and can be a super sub in certain situations. So I don't have any panic. I don't have any worry. I don't have anything. If you had told me on June whatever, 2 weeks ago, hey, Rob, the United States is going to have 6 points. They're going to have 8 goals, and they're going to have a +7 goal differential, and they're going to win their group. Do you know what I would have been? Elated. So I'm not going to let, one match change that. Turkey is headed home. They had a nice win that means nothing. They go back to Turkey A. The United States gets to keep going in this tournament, and they get to face Bosnia, a team they are on paper better than. And as the tournament shapes out now, it could then be South Korea or Egypt. So I am not going to let a bad result of backups losing at home really change my opinion at all. This is a nothing burger match, and the loss means nothing to me.
I will say, and I'm saying this again as a very much a soccer casual that doesn't really know a whole lot about what's going on. I'm just enjoying the vibes, They were handing us free Trulies. The game was on. Everybody was being so friendly. I was locked in. I was enjoying it. I do feel like the United States played hard yesterday. I do think they showed a measure of enthusiasm. I think it was a fun and exciting game. I get what you're saying. Turkey, I don't believe they had scored a goal yet so far in the World Cup. They score a couple of goals. They get a chance to win. They get a chance to feel good. You could tell the win meant something to them. The United States got to play some of their players that might not necessarily get to play. They got an opportunity to compete in the World Cup. It was still a very fun match to watch. I will be interested to see what the ratings look like. It was late on the East Coast. The game didn't really matter a whole lot. I think the United States is locked into it. I just don't know how much they were locked into yesterday's game. I saw a clip from your podcast that you did with Harold Kuntz, and he said that these games here in Kansas City, the United States games, are starting to get very close to the ratings that the Chiefs would get for regular season games. So I think that people are very much into the United States, and Wednesday at 7 o'clock is going to be a very, very big game in terms of rating interest, as this is a single elimination tournament, win and you go home. You don't got to know a whole lot about soccer to know that somebody is advancing at the end of this soccer game. There are no draws. There are no ties. Somebody is going back to their home country after this game.
It is, and we talked about it yesterday on the show at the Peanut. Hey, what's the best case scenario? I didn't care about the result. I wanted Christian Pulisic to come in and knock the rust off. He came in the game, knocked the rust off, and you saw there were moments where he looked like a rusty soccer player, so good. Come in, knock the rust off. I wanted to see a handful of players and how they perform in these moments. One of those players would be Sebastian Berhalter, who scored the second goal yesterday, so he looked like he performs well at the highest level. And then I wanted to see if defensively they can, maintain what they've been doing in this tournament. The backups couldn't. And so there was a little bit of disappointment, but I take literally nothing away. I saw some tweets and some social media stuff about how Turkey fans were in the concourse dancing and partying and celebrating. Good for them. They are now doing that on a flight back home. The United States continues on, and they are now well-rested and ready to go for a must-win matchup against Bosnia, which, again, on paper, they are better than Bosnia and should be headed to the round of 16.
So I want to play one more cut for you guys. This is Brad Guzan. Is that how you pronounce his name? He is with the Fox pregame show. He says there's no reason to panic after last night's result.
You're going to have a lot of people that wake up tomorrow on random different talk shows that are saying, oh, this team lost to the worst team in the group, and Turkey hadn't, won or scored, and now they scored 3 times, and it's panic stations for the U.S. No, it's not. Everyone take a deep breath.
That was Brad Guzan. He was on Fox talking about how there's no reason to panic after United States men's loss yesterday. So Rob's saying not to worry. Colin Cowherd is saying not to worry. Soccer expert Carrington is telling you not to worry. Maybe you shouldn't. It's not a big deal. They lost. They've clinched. They've advanced. The United States, I'm pretty sure they play Bosnia next Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, Bosnia. It's Bosnia, 7 o'clock. Santa Clara, San Francisco,
Are they going
to
put that on regular Fox? They putting that on
Big
FS1.
Fox.
Okay,
Big Fox.
Making sure.
That's Big
Fox.
Fox.
Who knows? They be putting some of these games on FS1. I hope the United States is on regular Fox.
I actually believe that every knockout round match will be on Big Fox.
Okay.
So now that we're through,
so we're almost done with FS1.
We're almost done with FS1.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Gordon, it's good to know. You can get that on your regular rabbit ears. I think we see the U.S. get to 20 million next week.
I think so too. I mean,
they're
they got
already around 17, 18 for these group stage games. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. That means 8 o'clock in the Eastern time zone. a pretty good time, I would say, across the country for everybody, yeah, the U.S. is going to do a pretty big number next Wednesday.
I don't know what will be NBA Finals number, but if you get to the round of 16 quarterfinal, you might see that 23, 24, 25 million number start to tick up. But yeah, I think they break 20 on Wednesday night. I would be stunned actually if they don't break 20. It would kind of disappoint me if they don't break 20 as far as ratings go.
I have one final question, soccer related, at least in this segment. I'm sure I'll have some more questions. I'm doing a good job of like writing these down so I can pass them along to you whenever they pop up. So you and I sat and we watched basically all of the Netherlands game. I had to miss a little bit of it, but I watched a pretty good portion of it. You watched a pretty good portion of it. We watched a pretty large portion of the United States and Turkey game yesterday. I didn't see a single person that cheers for Tunisia at the game yesterday. I'm not saying they don't exist, because I'm sure they exist. Somebody from Turkey or of Turkey descent certainly was over here watching the game. I'm not saying that they weren't. I've never, ever in my not even when Nebraska played Cincinnati a couple of months ago, you at least knew that there were some Cincinnati people there. You know, Jason Kelsey was there. Travis Kelsey was there. You know, there was definitely some Cincinnati influence in there. I've never seen a team in a neutral site play more of a road game than I saw Tunisia play last night in that game against the Netherlands. The Netherlands scored those 2 goals early on. Even when Tunisia scored, they just showed disappointed Netherlands fans. They didn't even show excited Tunisia. They didn't even show them. I've never seen a fan base outdrew in the capacity of what I saw yesterday. It was 98-2%. If you guys were at the game, I would love for somebody to tell me. I'm sure somebody listening was at the game. 913-586-7965. I'm not convinced that anybody who was rooting for Turkey was at Arrowhead yesterday. That felt like a 100% pro-Netherlands crowd.
I'm trying to think if there's been anything to that level in the World Cup so far. Because I got the France game on back here. There's Norway fans in this France game. I've watched a couple, like Algeria had a spattering of fans against Argentina at Arrowhead. Like,
Saturday, the game that you and I are going to, I expect to see fans from both sides. Certainly with Algeria, they've been here stationed here locally. They're staying at Lawrence. A lot of people have kind of adopted them over the last couple of months since they've been here. Now, Rob, I'm going to need you to explain at some point, we don't got to do this right now, what the stakes are for tomorrow's game going to be. Because from what I've been hearing and reading, it sounds like both teams want to play to a tie. You're telling me I'm going to watch a 0-0 soccer game and I know that going into it? You got to sell me on why I should be excited about this game. But I at least expect to see fans from both sides. I didn't see a single person from Tunisia here. Not a single one. Not on the plaza, not at Power and Light. They were not at a watch party. That was a Netherlands takeover yesterday.
It was pretty one-sided fan affair. And, I mean, to make matters worse, let's say there was a random Tunisian in town to watch. They gave up an own goal in the second minute. Game was over. You were about to go on your walk. I can't get my steps in before the USA game. I said, all right, see you. You're like, oh, there he scored. I'm like, yeah, it's over. It's done. This game is over.
They did score pretty quick. I went on a walk. I had to take 15 minutes to get to my 10,000. I then came back, and I'm like, it's already 2-0? It's already done? I didn't understand. I was very, very confused for that to be the case. I was very, very confused. All right, coming up on the other side, I want to do something a little bit different before Josh Vernier joins us on the show. Today is Linda Cohn's last SportsCenter episode. Linda Cohn has actually hosted more episodes of SportsCenter than any person has ever hosted. Rob, I want to give my SportsCenter starting 5. I want to hear your SportsCenter starting 5, and we'll see how much crossover, how much carryover we have between our two lists. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
I hope you are sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower cost than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. Maybe you're looking for something local. Algeria versus Austria. Currently, if you're saying, hey, you know what? The team over in LFK, what do I like for them? Well, Algeria currently trading at 25%, meaning a $100 trade, could show you a $365 profit. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time only, download the Kalshi app and use code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months. 0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. What's the best way to describe M. Shamus? It's a feast. A 14-meat, full rodizio, and 30 choices at our famous hot and cold gourmet bar. More items than most any other Brazilian grill experience. Dine in or retreat to our Inferno bar for lighter fare, small plates, and the best wine and spirits. Or enjoy our patio dining. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of eating.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can give to a child.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Eczema, eczema, eczema. So many ads for eczema products. But those fancy TV ads don't mention that those prescription products can cost thousands of dollars. There's a smarter way. It's Exoderm for eczema and dermatitis. Exoderm costs less than $20. Yep, less than $20. You don't need a prescription, and it's available on the first aid aisle of your local store. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean, hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives or nasty chemicals. Exoderm, fast, effective relief from the itching and inflammation of eczema. This stuff really does work. Take back control. Heal eczema flares with soothing Exoderm Flare Control Cream. It's on the first aid aisle of your local drugstore, supermarket, and at Target and Walmart too. Exoderm for eczema. Now that's smart.
Expect showers and thunderstorms this afternoon with a high of 79.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
All right, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to do two things before we talk to Vern coming up in 15 minutes. This is what I would like to do. First off, 913-586-7965. Why don't we dub this segment a Flashback Friday? And I want you on the text line to name some old ESPN shows that you would love if they brought back. For example, Rob, do you remember the show Stump the Schwab? Do you remember the show 2 Minute Drill? Another one of those trivia shows. Sometimes, you guys might laugh at me, sometimes when I'm eating breakfast, I go back on YouTube and I watch the And1 Street Ball show. It was just always a fun show, you know? Give me a little Professor in the morning, a little Spider, a little AO main event, just to get my day going. So that's one thing I would like to do. 913-586-7965. We'll dub this a Flashback Friday. What's a show that was on ESPN back in the day that you wish that they just brought back? And I'll give you mine here coming up in a little bit. But, Rob, if you want to hit a little bit of music here, we are doing this in memory, in honor of today is Linda Cohn's last episode of SportsCenter. There has not been a single person who has hosted more episodes of SportsCenter than Linda Cohn. She is the first lady of ESPN SportsCenter. For that reason, Rob, I feel like she has to be in your starting five. The fact that she has done more episodes than anybody else and is the queen of the show, I feel like she has to be incorporated into your starting five. A real pioneer.
Let me ask you this, because I want to understand the thing here. I'm going to go full spec. Is this my starting five?
Yes, your personal starting five. You're making your list.
She's not my five.
I got her on my five because I got to pay respect, Stewart. I got to pay my respects.
She's my James Harden. She's my sixth man in Oklahoma City.
I got no problem with that. This is what I think the starting five is. Dan Patrick, Stuart Scott, Linda Cohn, Rich Eisen, Scott Van Pelt.
No Kenny Mayne.
I love Kenny Mayne.
That's our one difference.
I don't know if Kenny Mayne's a starter on this team. This really goes to show you how deep they are. I didn't mention Stan Verrett. I didn't mention Neil Everett.
Nope.
Chris Berman used to host SportsCenter for a time, but I at least know Chris Berman a little bit more from Sunday NFL Countdown than I remember him. I mean, there's a lot of Jay Harris. We can go up and down. SportsCenter has been Michael Smith. There's a lot of people who have hosted SportsCenter. I think that's the starting five. Dan Patrick, Stuart Scott, Linda Cohn, Rich Eisen, and Scott Van Pelt. That's going to be my starting five.
So we had the exact same five sans Linda Cohn. I had Kenny Mayne ahead of her. I had her as my sixth man, and on the outside looking in, I had Keith Olbermann too.
Ooh, that's a good one.
He's a little bit more old school.
That's definitely an old school.
But Keith Olbermann, when I first started watching SportsCenter, 4, 5, 6 years old, he was doing SportsCenter, and there's a nostalgia to him doing sports highlights. So that's my starting five, but my first two off the bench, if you will. The role players that everyone's in an NCAA tournament game, we need to do some scoring here. That's my 7.
I was actually listening to a podcast a couple of days ago. I think it was Jimmy Traynor. I like listening to his podcast. And they were having a conversation, does ESPN still have the ability to make stars? I think the answer is still very clearly a yes. What would you consider Mina Kimes to be?
Pat McAfee.
I think Pat was a star before he got there, but I certainly understand. It definitely has gone to another level now with the relationship between WWE and hosting College Game Day for sure. But there is no question in this media space that Mina Kimes is a star. It maybe doesn't have the same ability, and there are just more avenues to become a media star in 2026, certainly than it was in 1996, where all of these guys were stars. Like Dan Patrick has been in a dozen Adam Sandler movies. Stuart Scott would be larger than life if he was still alive. Rich Eisen has had a lot of success since then. Scott Van Pelt still hosts SportsCenter and is one of the more popular sports television shows on there. ESPN still has the ability to make stars. What is Stephen A. Smith? But it's just never going to be like how it was in 1996 because we just have so many more avenues to get sports from, and there's just so many more competitors now than it used to be back in the day.
I also think, and I don't want to get too our media game here, thinking about this, does any television outlet make stars right now? Because, I guess, maybe I'm skewed here because Nick Wright's a star, but he was a star here first, so it feels different than like a regular.
I think television still has the ability. I would say
because has Good Morning Football made a star?
Schrager. I would say Schrager and Kyle Brandt are certainly. I would consider them to be sports media stars for sure. I would consider them to be that case. I would consider Kay Adams to be a star.
Kay Adams is a unique case. Kay Adams is like Katie Nolan to me. Like, I think some of her allure is not just like her takes per se, but I agree she's a stardom. Like, does anyone know what's on FanDuel TV other than her? I guess is a good point.
Oh, that's fair. Well, I mean, our friend Michelle Beadle is actually on FanDuel TV.
That's true.
Yeah, Michelle Beadle.
Is she a friend of the show? She's a one-timer.
No, she's definitely a friend of the show. We can have Michelle Beadle on again, for sure.
That's fair.
Someone on the text line says, Mina Kimes, what? A really unpopular person on my algorithm. Yeah, Mina Kimes being a star in sports media is not really up for debate, in my opinion. It's absolutely that she is a star, in my opinion. I don't even know what the argument against it would be.
Didn't she just win an Emmy? Like,
yeah, it's a no-brainer to me that Mina Kimes is a star.
Thing.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, Stephen A. Smith is really unpopular. I don't think anybody's debating on whether or not he's a star or not.
I would agree.
Yeah, no. So no, ESPN certainly still has the ability to make television stars.
I would say most people on that NFL Live show are stars, even though we don't like. You don't have to like Dan Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky's a star. Like, he's a known commodity. Adam Schefter didn't start at ESPN, but he's become a bigger star while at ESPN. Like, yeah, ESPN still can make stars.
Brian Windhorst is another person too that ESPN has absolutely made over the course. His relationship with LeBron has also been a major part of it too. Speaking of sports media stars here, actually, you know what? We'll save this. The show that I would like to see brought back is Edge NFL Matchup. That's the show.
You want Merrill Hodge back too?
I want them to do it exactly how they used to do it. Remember, it was Sal Palantonio, it was Ron Jaworski, and it was Merrill Hodge. Now, I know now it's cool to make it seem like everybody's just breaking down the All-22 film. I know we love to make it seem like everybody just has this great understanding of schemes and routes and breaks down the film. That is exactly what NFL Live or NFL Edge Matchup used to be. You guys know, I don't have a problem with the debate-style television shows, but I do think that there was a little bit better balance 20 years ago between information shows and entertainment shows. And I thought that Edge NFL Matchup was the perfect blend of both of those things. It really broke down film in a way that I thought was very easy to understand, and it was just a really, really fun watch. Seeing a guy like Merrill Hodge break down a play and tell you what happened or what was supposed to happen, I always thought was a lot of fun. So if you're telling me to bring back one show from back in the day, I want you to bring back that OG cast. Jaws, the quarterback, Merrill Hodge, who played in the league, and Sal Palantonio, the legendary NFL reporter.
That's a great answer. I'm going to go a little more mainstream. Baseball Tonight. Baseball Tonight had web gyms.
It was a good show, for
Baseball was in the national zeitgeist. You want to know why? It's because of ESPN. They would show you the best plays of the week. They would give you an update on the biggest storylines. They would play in the biggest. It was Sunday Night Baseball was a really big deal. They had, Berman doing the back. It was, even though he's synonymous with the NFL, he was doing that show. Carl Ravitch. I want that show to exist again because I want baseball to be in the national limelight again. So Baseball Tonight is my answer because they kind of quit baseball just out of nowhere. They said no mas.
Someone on the text line says, CDOT, definitely not the sports reporters. There was nothing worse than that show when it was on. We will not disrespect the sports reporters on this show. I loved the sports reporters.
Can we bring around the horn back too?
Yeah, for sure. I loved Around the Horn. I loved sports reporters. Sports reporters, when you really think about it, like we just didn't really have the idea of it then. Sports reporters was a sports podcast. That's what it was. It was a sports podcast. They would get some of the most prominent sports writers from around the country. They would come together to talk about the top sports stories. That sounds like a podcast to me. That's what it was. Think about it. That show used to have Whitlock on it. It had Mitch Albom on it. Mike Lupica, Bob Ryan. Yeah, you will never, ever hear me slander the sports reporters. I used to love that show. Absolutely used to love it. Somebody said, what about Outside the Lines with Bob Lee? another fantastic show. Outside the Lines. We really had it good coming up in the day with ESPN. They really had some incredible shows. Coming up at the top of the hour, Josh Vernier is going to join us on the show. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is out here changing the game. Because sometimes your player gets subbed off, and that means your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. With FanDuel's Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. Your bet stays alive, keeping you in the action longer. So if you're still in it until the final whistle, Super Sub covers the entire game, including extra time. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Look for the yellow Super Sub icon on the game page and the My Bets page. If your player leaves the match due to substitution or an injury, your bet will automatically transfer to the substitute who replaces that player. So go to FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
The world's best soccer teams know success starts with a strong game plan. AAA believes your insurance should work the same way. Visit AAA.com and you could save up to 21% by switching to AAA Auto Insurance. You can save even more if you bundle 2 or more policies, like auto and home, to unlock additional multi-policy savings while keeping all your coverage on one team. Head to AAA.com to simplify your insurance, save money, and protect what matters most. One game plan, one team. AAA Insurance.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Hey, this is Lauren. And a little thing I love about the hash brown scrambled burrito is that it's gonna add the protein that you need. The eggs with those crispy nuggets. It's the ultimate combo.
Hi, this is Maya, and a little thing I love about the hash brown scrambled burrito is that it's packed with protein. Having Chick-fil-A chicken in a breakfast burrito is just phenomenal to me. You have the chicken, you have the eggs, and then you add these hash browns. It's just complete, honestly.
Order the Chick-fil-A hash brown scrambled burrito and Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done, fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size, fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
There's enough needless nonsense in the world already. Your phone plan shouldn't add to it. Verizon's new Simplicity plan cuts down on the nonsense in your life. Now there's just one plan, one price, $30 a line per month, even for a single line. And everyone gets our best 5G network. It's a phone plan designed to do exactly what a phone plan is supposed to do. Isn't that a lot simpler? Switch today at Verizon.com or at your nearest store. For new customers, $30 per line includes auto pay and switch discount. Additional taxes, fees, and terms apply. Unlimited data is restricted to on-device smartphone usage. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Gomer's voted KC's #1 liquor store. Family owned and operated since 1969. With excellent price, selection, and service, Gomer's has helped customers find the perfect libation for any occasion for over 50 years.
When it's time to find the good stuff you're looking for, you find it at Gomer's.
As World Soccer hits the big stage, Fanatics Sportsbook is making every game day worth more. Earn up to 10% fan cash on your soccer bets, win or lose. That's real extra value you can unlock every match, all tournament long. And fan cash isn't just for betting. You can use it anywhere in the world of Fanatics. On game tickets, merchandise, collectibles, profit boosts, and more. One ecosystem, endless ways to spend. Plus, new customers get up to $1,000 in fan cash. That's $100 bet matched every day for your first 10 days. The world is ready. Are you? Fanatics Sportsbook. winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. CT, call 888-789-7777. MA, call 800-327-5050. NY, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I'm so thrilled to be joined by our next guest. It's been some time. Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, joins us on the show. Vern, I always treasure your appearances on the show. How are you doing today?
Hey, man. I'm doing terrific. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, so you don't have to give me a starting five. But we were just talking about SportsCenter because today is Linda Cohn's last day on the show. She has hosted more episodes of SportsCenter than anybody else who has ever been on the show. Two questions.
I used to work with a football player that had a thing for her.
Okay. Oh, I did not know that. All right. So I guess I have a two-part question here. The first part of this question is, who were some of your favorite ESPN SportsCenter hosts from back in the day? And then the next question is, give me a couple of shows that you would love for ESPN to bring back.
ESPN shows, nothing really strikes me. You know, a baseball show that I loved growing up. This Week in Baseball with Mel Allen. That would be nice. No, I can't. Man, ESPN, I heard you guys talking about the talent. I don't know who their talent coordinator is, but I'm blown away at the people that they consistently find. I mean, you were talking about NFL, their NFL coverage. That NBA Today show, it's just one home run hitter normally after another. Their talent coordinator at ESPN, well, it's ESPN. What would you expect? My favorite SportsCenter anchors, I didn't have cable growing up, so I really didn't watch it. No one really strikes me. No one that I couldn't miss because I missed it all.
You know what? The one thing I wish you could have experienced a little bit more, knowing the kind of baseball fan that you are, was Baseball Tonight, when they would do the little web gym segment and they would just show you all the great defensive plays. Like, when I think of that, I think of Andrew Jones and Rafael Furcal. They always stayed on web gyms.
I had that, I think it was for Sega, an ESPN Baseball Tonight game where they didn't have the players' names in it. But I was such a nerd, I knew what every number was.
So there's a lot to talk to you about with the Kansas City Royals. Why don't we just do this? I'm curious on what you think the biggest story is. Is it Jack Caglione? Is it Cole Reagans? What do you think the biggest story right now with the team is?
Well, it really depends on what you want to talk about. Are we talking about the game tonight? Are we talking about this season? Are we looking ahead to the future? To me, when you're one of the worst teams in baseball, you need to look to the future. And if you're doing that, how does this team win in the future? And to me, then I guess the answer would be Cole Reagans. To me, is the biggest story because Cole Reagans, even though you were depending on him this season, and he's going to be under contract next year and probably the year after that, obviously you're going to miss him all next season, and obviously you can't rely on him for 2028. So that leaves such a hole at the top of the rotation that to me that's number one on the to-do list for J.J. Piccolo. No, that's number one on the to-do list for John Sherman this offseason, is to go find someone to lead this rotation, because without Cole Reagans, without Chris Bubic next season, even if he returns on a prove-it one-year deal, he's trying to prove that he's healthy, you're not going to be able to bank on Chris Bubic. Michael Wacha's outstanding. Love everything about him. One of the best pros I've ever been around. But he's not a guy I'm looking at to start opening day or to give to game one of a playoff series where, hey, I need you to stare down Garrett Cole. I love Michael Waka, but he's not an ace. He's not a number one. Seth Lugo, Noah Cameron, Luwinder Avila. Maybe Avila turns into one down the line, but he's certainly not one opening day of 2027. I don't know that they have a number two in the rotation next season. I understand Seth Lugo's going to be back, but is Seth Lugo someone that you feel like you can still stack up among the game's best, or at least the American League's best? No, it seems to me like you have a bunch of number fours, a handful of number threes that at times can masquerade as a number two. But if you're going to do any damage come October, you need to have a number one. I mean, Johnny Cueto going back to 2015, obviously Brett Saberhagen in 1985. Go find a number one. It's not going to be easy, but that's, to me, the biggest story right now. If they're going to win in 27, for as much as we've talked about the offense this season, the biggest spot, the biggest need is rotation help.
Vern, are we going to look at Cole Reagans as one of the biggest what-if stories? Because when he was healthy, he was legitimately one of the 5 best pitchers in the American League and a guy that could be that number one, could be that ace, and could potentially compete and win as Cy Young. This just feels like a running back story. Like, this feels like Todd Gurley, how one day Todd Gurley was a phenomenal running back, and then the next thing you know, his body just started to fall apart.
Do you think he's different than Danny Duffy? Do you view Danny Duffy as a what-if?
I do in some ways, yeah. That's a really good comparison.
Yeah, that's what I would point to in that, man, you still got a lot of good for what you invested. Danny Duffy was an early round draft pick. He was a stud in 2016, really helped you get to the playoffs in 2014, made a few appearances in that run in 2015. Danny Duffy was a good winning draft pick. And Cole Reagans, you go back and look at that trade for Aroldis Chapman, that's one of the best trades we've seen in Major League Baseball in the last half decade, even if he never gives the Royals another pitch over the next 2 seasons. So, yeah, certainly he's a what-if, but, man, we've all been around Major League Baseball enough. I mean, Jeff Passan wrote an entire book about the elbow. It's much like a running back. Yeah. I mean, there are heaps and heaps of running backs and pitchers that you can say, what if they were able to stay healthy.
Right now, we're talking to our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. Vern, I don't even really know, honestly, how to even phrase the question about Jack Caglianone, more so than just an observation. I mean, we are less than a full baseball season into it. We're not even at a full 162 with Jack Caglianone. It took him maybe 60, 70 games in order to kind of find his stride. But once he has found his stride, he has been exactly that everybody like you, everybody like J.J. Cooper, everybody that does this for a living, that has a good idea with prospects, told you how good he was going to be. That's who he's turned out to be.
And it's pretty neat to think of the 1-2 punch that we're going to see tonight, because it seems to me as if the full blossom of, and you know what, I want to calm down a little bit. It has been 1 month of dominating offense from Jack Caglianone, but to your point, it has been a steady, slow climb to becoming the player that we expected him to be. Really, to me, the story right now with Cags is a story that we have to wait another 3.5 months to even begin to write, because he needs to follow up June, and then next April, when hopefully expectations are the postseason once again, he's going to have to prove it again next year. So there's a lot ahead of Jack Caglianone, but to think is tonight we got Bobby Witt Jr. back in the lineup. He's serving as the DH, but he's back after a week-long absence, the longest absence of his big league career. So tonight's really the first time we're going to see, even though it's not a 100% Bobby Witt Jr., we are going to see Bobby at the plate with Jack Caglianone in that on-deck circle. And this Caglianone, this confident, athletic in the box, 23-year-old monster, Jack Caglianone. That 1-2 punch, that pitcher on the mound, this side of Shohei Ohtani, while understanding the guy that's on deck can make me look as foolish as anybody outside of Shohei Ohtani. So that 1-2 punch of Bobby Witt Jr. and Jack Caglianone, so long as Cags continues on the road that we've seen over the past year, that 1-2 punch of Bobby and Cags, C-Dot, you might, by this time next year, be able to mention it as one of the top 5, top 10 1-2 punches in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I'm kind of holding on to with all of this, Vern, is the Royals seem to have the foundation. I don't want to make it seem like there's no cracks around it. But if you were telling me you have one of the stars of the game, Wood Jr., you got Carter Jensen, who's having a fantastic rookie season. Jack Caglione, you still got Mikel Garcia. We'll see what happens with Vinny Pasquantino. Like, there is enough foundation there where I'm not saying I'm going to go into next year thinking they can win the division, but, I mean, the Royals as an organization should look at this as being a one-year blip. Hey, we made some mistakes. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. But there's no reason to think that this should be a prolonged season or stretch of losing Royals baseball. There's enough good there for the Royals to turn it around in 12 months.
And that's why, to me, you need to pick an avenue to acquire that top of the rotation. And listen, I understand they're not going to go get Tarek Skubal this offseason. I know they're not going to get a true ace. Maybe they don't even go get a true number one. But if they can, in free agency, find the steal of free agency. Like you can make a case they did a few years ago with Seth Lugo or Michael Wacha. Go find the steal of free agency. Go find the diamond in the rough in some other organization that's being overlooked, a la the Cole Reagans for Aroldis Chapman trade that we saw at the deadline a few years ago. This offseason, you could also make a trade if you believe you have a position of strength. You know, Vinny Pasquantino can come back and look like the Vinny we've become accustomed to seeing over the past few seasons. If Vinny can put together a strong August and September, maybe Vinny and a prospect bring you back that James Shields of 2026. Or maybe you go with your top prospect like you did back then with Will Myers. Maybe you part with a catcher in Blake Mitchell because you view catcher as a position of strength with Carter Jensen and with another young prospect in Ramon Ramirez. To me, they have three avenues. Really four avenues to acquire that top of the rotation guy. Trade this offseason, striking gold at the deadline, a free agent acquisition, and then again, they have the 6th overall pick coming up in next month's draft. That's quite the climb for someone to be drafted 6th overall, then help out the rotation next season. But boy, guys are getting to the big leagues a lot quicker nowadays, and a top 6 pick this organization can't afford to miss.
Vern, I'll get you out of here with this last thing. Give me the 3 most likely players that you think are traded here in the next month. I don't think the Royals need to kid themselves. They're not making the postseason. They're going to have to shake some things up. You're going to have to make some difficult decisions as an organization, whether it's here at the deadline or in the offseason. It can't just be adding pieces. You got to be willing to get through some pieces and kind of shake up the formula of this team. Who's most likely to be playing elsewhere in the next month?
I'll give you 2 lists. One, the top 3 that they have to trade because these guys are going to be free agents in 3.5 months. Chris Bubic, if he can show that he's healthy. John Schreiber, Lane Thomas. Those 3 have to go, and we'll see what you can get in return. I wouldn't hold my breath, but you were able to get Cole Reagans for 2.5 months of Aroldis Chapman. If Chris Bubic can show he's healthy, you better get something in return. So those 3 have to go. Starling Marte has to go. But as far as guys that are under team control moving forward, Daniel Lynch, to me, I don't know if he's ever going to perform as well as he is right now. If the right phone call comes in, pull that trigger. Nick Lofton and Michael Massey as well. Both have been outstanding here in the month of June. I would like to feel as if they're only going to get better, but I don't know that to be true. So if the right call comes along, I'm willing to move on from Lynch, from Massey, from Nick Lofton. 3 guys that I do believe could help a team down the stretch, could help the Royals next year. But if you have a chance to really extend your window, if you have a chance to bring someone that's going to be here at the new stadium, go for it.
That is our guy, Josh Vern. You're joining us on the show, our Royals insider. Vern, I look forward to your next appearance on the show. Thanks a lot for popping on.
As do I, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That's our guy, Josh Vern. You're joining us on the show, talking a little bit of Royals baseball. Coming up on the other side, I don't know why, I just got an itch to talk some football today. We'll get into it. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Hello. Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spellbook.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Right, soccer fans, listen up. If you'd like a proper celebration, come on, you know where to go this summer. Gordon Ramsay's steak inside Harrah's, Kansas City is the place to be. Now, we're talking beautiful marble cuts, cooked to absolute utter perfection, and flavors you can't get anywhere else. Stop settling for mediocre and let me help you. Come in, sit down, and let my team show you how to cook a proper steak. Now, 21 or older to gamble, know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLInjuryLaw.com.
Downtown, there's a stall 670 eastbound right at 35. Right lane is blocked near Shawnee. The split 635 southbound just past Shawnee Drive. That is a right lane blocked there. Non-valid traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. Maybe it's been because we've been talking so much World Cup soccer lately, and I'm still for talking about the World Cup, but at the core, you know what this show is. This is a show that talks about the National Football League. That's our bread and butter. That's what we're into on this show. So you know what? Can we take a little bit of a detour from talking about one of the bottom 5 teams in Major League Baseball? There's no real Chiefs news that's currently happening right now. Nobody, knock on wood, is in any legal issues. There's no problems right now with the Chiefs. It's kind of quiet on the home front. So, Rob, I'd like to play a really quick game just to get a sense of where we are heading into the offseason. So, this is usually when you got to start making a decision on paying some of your young players. They've finished the first 3 years of their contract, or it's a guy who's due up for a second deal, and now you need to decide if you want to extend him again or not. That's happening around the league. Rob, let's get to it. All right, let's start with C.J. Stroud. Rob, what would you do if you were the Houston Texans? Because history says this is the time to pay your quarterback. He has completed his 3rd year in the NFL. He had a very good rookie season. They have made the postseason. They've won playoff games. Now, from a regression standpoint, he has regressed in each of the last 2 seasons. And I don't think he's a top 5, maybe not even a top 7 quarterback in the AFC. But that has never stopped an organization from now ponying up and paying their quarterback big bucks. What would you do with C.J. Stroud if you're the Texans?
I think I would pay him. I'm not 100% sold that he's the guy, but I do think he has shown flashes that will make you believe he could be the guy. I mean, his rookie year was sensational.
He was very good.
He was very good and has regressed since then. And I don't have the splits in front of me, but every year I feel like we have this conversation with C.J. Stroud. How good he is when Tank Dell's on the field and how good he is when Tank Dell is off the field. Obviously, Tank Dell was not on the field last year after his gruesome injury. He should be back on the field this year, which means that if those splits are correct, he will be a better quarterback in 2026. They also have an elite defense, so they don't need a Mahomes, Josh Allen, Herculean effort from their quarterback. So for now, I would pay him. I'd pay Will Anderson and all those guys first, but I would pay C.J. Stroud.
All right, so this is interesting for this reason. This is why. I wouldn't pay C.J. Stroud. One of the reasons that you have been able to accumulate the defense that you are talking about is because you're not paying your quarterback any amount of money. You're not paying him anything. So this is how I would handle it if I'm the Houston Texans. I would let him play out this season. You've already picked up the 5th-year option. He will make $25 million in 2027. You still have the franchise tag available in 2028 when he's 27 years old. I know what the argument's going to be. Well, it's cheaper to do it now. But we have way more examples of when you do this to how it can hurt you more so than waiting to get more information, how it could potentially help you. If the Dolphins had waited to give Tua the money, they'd be in a better situation. Maybe the Packers would be in a different situation if they had waited with Jordan Love. We saw this with Trevor Lawrence, with Justin Herbert. I just don't know why you'd be in a rush to do this. It's not like C.J. Stroud is going to take bottom tier money or even mid tier money. We know he's going to be asked to be paid as a quarterback. Look at what Jordan Love got. Why would CJ Stroud take less money than what Jordan Love got? I just don't really understand why he would even consider doing something like that. And Jordan Love got 4 years, $220 million. I don't feel comfortable giving that contract to CJ Stroud, so I would continue to roll the dice. I would try to prolong this a little bit, at least through the end of this season, and I'd be open to having this conversation at the end of the season, but I would not renegotiate a new deal with CJ Stroud. Moving on, there's another quarterback from that draft class, Rob, that's looking for a new deal. Bryce Young. Would you pay Bryce Young this offseason?
Bryce Young's a no. So I know that they made the playoffs last year, and that's all fine and dandy for Carolina. They were 8-9. And it was not because Bryce Young is some star. I think Dave Canellis is a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach, but I think he's able to get, lesser quarterbacks to perform at a average level. I don't know that you're going to get anything more out of Bryce Young than what you got last year, so I would not pay Bryce Young. And if you'll remember, not that I have to toot my own horn here, circling back to that draft, I would have taken Stroud over Young for a lot of the things we've seen that have been problems in Young's career. So I would not be paying Bryce Young.
I would be interested in paying Bryce Young if he's interested in playing ball. I don't think that CJ Stroud would be interested in playing ball. So I think it's a little bit different conversation. But do you think that Bryce Young would be open to taking Malik Willis's contract? Malik Willis got 3 for $67 million. Do you think that he'd be interested in taking Baker Mayfield's deal, which is 3 for $100 million? What contract do you think Bryce Young would be super interested in? If he's interested in one of those kind of deals, I don't think it's the worst kind of contract. You've got a relatively good deal that you can still have some flexibility and build around. If I got to pay Bryce Young like one of these guys, then what are we doing here? I don't think anybody in the league is giving him that kind of deal. What kind of contract is Bryce Young willing to sign? That's what I'd be really interested in.
But let me ask you this. Let's say his agent came to you and you're the GM of the Panthers, who I think is actually Dan Morgan, the former linebacker.
Oh, okay.
Let's say he came to you and said, hey, I'll take the Baker Mayfield deal. Is Bryce Young as good as Baker Mayfield? So you're signing up for the 9th best quarterback contract in the NFL, but you're giving that to the 17th best quarterback in the NFL?
Best. At this point, the Baker Mayfield deal, we're talking about like 9th best. It's really like the 15th best quarterback
I guess
deal.
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, I hear what you're saying. $100 million sounds like a lot of money. It's not even top 12 money anymore when it comes to quarterback. That's how crazy it is. I mean, honestly, we're having this conversation is there's no middle ground anymore on quarterback. You've either been paid, you are a rookie, or you're a guy that we've determined can't start in the league and you're Justin Fields. You're one of those kind of guys. So I don't really know what to do with Bryce Young, that I do think is a starting quarterback in the National Football League. I think he's better than a backup quarterback, but I don't think he's one of those top guys. So what do you do if you're Carolina? Do you roll the dice and try again in the NFL draft? We'll see how they handle it. But the Bryce Young contract discussion, I actually think is fairly interesting. Rob, I already know what you're going to say, but let's just have it anyway. Jonathan Taylor is due up for a new contract. What do you do if you're the Indianapolis Colts?
Come on now. No. Don't pay a running back.
They've already invested a lot, though. You've already paid Daniel Jones. You've already traded draft picks to go get Sauce Gardner. Like, I hear what you are saying, but the Colts are operating like a team that thinks they're good and think they have a chance this upcoming season.
I would not on Jonathan Taylor. I know he was good last year.
He's been good the last 2 seasons.
But it's just it rings in my brain. One of the reasons I come off as anti-running back, it rings in my brain. Terez said it all the time. There's only so many hits on a running back's body before it's just over. And think about where he went to college. It wasn't like he was a low-volume runner at Wisconsin.
He's getting a lot of carries.
He might have a number next to his name. That's not his football age.
He's 27.
I still
think he's got 2 or 3 decent years left.
I'm not taking the risk that it's 3. I would probably not pay Jonathan Taylor.
I think they're going to pay him this offseason.
I think he's different than Bijan because of his age.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Bijan I'd be intrigued to pay. I'd probably still lean no, but at least I'd be intrigued. Jonathan Taylor, he's 27, but I think he has the body of a 29-year-old, and that's a ticking time bomb.
All right, there's one more player I would ask you about. I actually would pay Jonathan Taylor. I kind of think you have to if you're the Indianapolis Colts. Now, it's probably going to be packaged as a 3-year deal, but it's ultimately going to be a 2-year deal. And can you get 2 more good seasons out of Jonathan Taylor? I would guess that you can. So I don't have any problem with you paying Jonathan Taylor. The league is just kind of trending right now towards taking care of your guys, paying your running backs. I think the Colts end up doing that at some point here in the next 6 weeks or so. Reports are coming out of Baltimore that they are looking at a $35 million a year extension for Zay Flowers. Is that something you would do, Rob? Would you pay Zay Flowers top-tier wide receiver money?
30.
That's a lot of money for a wide receiver. That's a lot of money for Zay Flowers, who I think is a very good player.
I think he's good.
$35 million a year is big-time money. That would make him the 4th highest-paid receiver in the National Football League behind JSN, Jamar Chase, and Drake London.
Yeah, no. And that's not an indictment on Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is a good player. I think Zay Flowers has been... that was the year the Chiefs were thinking about a receiver in that 20 to 30 range. They ended up taking FAU at the end of the draft. That was the Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers. We did a lot of draft shows about receivers in that draft.
For sure.
I think he's been the best of that grouping by a noticeable margin, but I don't think that makes him good enough to justify $34 million. So I would be a no on Zay Flowers. The receiver market is just broken right now. There's talk about no middle ground at quarterback. Kind of how it's becoming a wide receiver. I would not give him that contract.
I kind of think you're stuck if you were Baltimore, and I think you kind of have to do it. If you've got Lamar Jackson and you clearly feel a sense of urgency to try to get over the hump and win a championship now, based on the moves that you just made this offseason, letting go of your head coach, I don't really know if you can just start over right now at wide receiver and not pay your number one wide receiver. That I agree with you. I don't look at Zay Flowers as being one of these guys. I don't think he's CeeDee Lamb. I don't think he's Jamar Chase. I don't think he's one of those guys. But are you just going to let him walk in free agency? Are you just going to trade him and take the draft picks and then try to hope that you get another Zay Flowers? Or while you think you got another maybe 3 years of a healthy, dangerous Lamar Jackson, are you going to try to keep that continuity? You got running back figured out. You got wide receiver figured out. You got your quarterback. You got a new defensive-minded head coach, a little bit of a change, and you go from there. I'm guessing that the Ravens give in. I'm guessing that the Ravens are paying Zay Flowers this offseason. I don't really know what their options are outside of that.
I think you're right. The Ravens will pay Zay Flowers. I think the Ravens will regret paying Zay Flowers. He's a good player. He's not a great player. I mean, isn't that the basic rule of thumb? Don't pay good players great player contracts. He's not JSN. He's not that guy. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not Jamar Chase. He is maybe the best of the second tier, 2.5 tier wide receivers in the NFL, but I'm not paying him like he's tier 1A. The kids have the S tier and the A tier. He's like 2 tiers down from the top of the line. I'm not paying him like he's top of the line.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. Rob, you can turn the music down. Someone on the text line says, I think the Bryce Young contract to be somewhere around 2 years, $40 million with the $30 million option heavily incentivized. I hear what you are saying. I guess my point with the Bryce Young contract is that contract that you're talking about just doesn't exist for somebody like Bryce Young. I mean, that's what Justin Fields' contract is. What you just described is Justin Fields' contract. There's no world in which Bryce Young is accepting Justin Fields' contract, who is currently the backup quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I mean, if you want quarterback in the National Football League, and I think Bryce Young's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback by any means, but I do think that Bryce Young is a capable starting quarterback in the NFL. You just don't get that guy for cheap. You either have it really honestly is there's 3 categories for quarterbacks in the National Football League. You have been paid like a franchise guy. You are a rookie and waiting to get paid. So that's where C.J. Stroud is, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, all of those guys that we agree at some point they are going to get paid, but they're still on their rookie contract. Or you're a failed starter in the National Football League, and now you're making decent backup money. Those are the only deals that we have. So, I mean, I don't think that Bryce Young is getting paid like he's Justin Fields. I don't think he's getting paid like he's Tua. I don't think he's getting paid like he's Mac Jones or one of those kind of guys. So if you're Carolina or really any team that thinks they have it, you're just going to have to give them a decent amount of money if you want to have them on your team.
To your point about the quarterback market being broken, Malik Willis has literally achieved nothing in the NFL. He has a relatively cheap quarterback contract, all things considered. It's 3 for 45 guaranteed, but there's elevators and things to get up to, like, I believe in the 70s or 80s. Bryce Young's better than Malik Willis, and that guy is a $75 million player right now in the NFL. Like, it's broken.
I mean, Geno Smith signed a 2-year, $75 million contract with the Las Vegas Raiders, and it guaranteed $66 million of it. So, again, I hear what you were saying. Like, is Bryce Young a guy that you feel, man, I got to go pay this guy? Of course not. But, I mean, the market is what the market is at quarterback. And none of us are saying you should pay him like he's Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's that. You shouldn't pay him like he's Justin Herbert, but he's also not taking Gardner Minshew or Jacoby Brissett money either. So I just don't really think I don't know how much choice you have if you're Carolina. Your choice is you can let him walk, which I'm not saying that's the worst idea, but then you're starting over with the rookie quarterback and you're just going to have to roll the dice again in the draft. You either get it right or you get it wrong. And we all know what happens if you get it wrong. You get fired in the National Football League. That's how this goes.
Does the fact it's a very rich quarterback draft mean if you're the GM of the Panthers, you wait? Because you can pick up the fifth-year option. You can kind of massage the time. And if he goes back to being a subpar quarterback and you go 5-12 in 2026, which isn't an impossible thought to believe, you then have a quarterback draft that a lot of people think could have 7-8 quarterbacks going round one. Does what the Panthers are facing, does their thought process change because of what's going to happen next April? Because we can list the names. It's a quarterback-rich draft, or we believe it'll be a quarterback-rich draft.
For sure. Some of these teams are going to say no on Bryce Young, and they're just going to roll the dice, and they're going to draft Lenore Sellers, for example. They're going to roll the dice on one of those guys. Like, we might see 6 or 7 first-round pick quarterback next year. So, yes, a couple of these teams are going to say no to these quarterback contracts, and they're just going to roll the dice and start over and hope that you get that production for similar costs. I mean, your next quarterback is just going to be cheaper if you're Carolina. You gave Bryce Young number 1 overall pick money, so even if you have the 4th overall pick next year, you're going to end up saving a little bit of money at the quarterback position. That is just the way that it goes. All right, so let me, share this with you guys. So Pete Prisco, you guys have heard of him before. He works for CBS Sports. So he did his top 100 list. Yes, we have come up on list a season, one of my favorite seasons in sports. So these were the top 10 players that he has in the National Football League. Number 10, Lamar Jackson. Number 9, Puka Nacua. Number 8, Justin Jefferson. Number 7, Patrick Mahomes. Number 6, Penei Sewell. 5, Joe Burrow. 4, Jamar Chase. Number 3, Josh Allen. 2, Matthew Stafford. And number 1, Myles Garrett. That is the list from Pete Prisco. Nick Wright heard this on his television show, and let me tell you, he said this is unacceptable. Listen to this.
Having Joe Burrow ranked ahead of Patrick Mahomes on any quarterback list is an unacceptable opinion. The Stafford, he just won MVP, so be it. Josh Allen is, there's no injury concerns because he never misses games. He's consistently productive. Now, Patrick clocks him in the playoffs every year, but Patrick missed the playoffs last year, so I'm not going to say Josh having the 4-turnover playoff game is worse than Patrick missing the playoffs. So like that, it's not how I would have it ranked, but that's fine. Patrick tore his ACL last year and played more games than Joe Burrow did. Patrick has won 2 league MVPs. Joe's won none. Patrick's been to 5 Super Bowls. Joe's been to 1. Patrick's won 3. Joe's won 0. Patrick's overall historical numbers far outstrip Joe Burrow's, and the recent numbers when Burrow's had this statistical explosion have not coincided with the team winning.
I don't want to sound like a homer. I would have to agree with Nick on this conversation. I'm not mad if you have Matthew Stafford ahead of him. I don't know how you can be mad if Matthew Stafford's ahead of him. I don't know. Honestly, today, I don't think you can be that upset if Josh Allen is ahead of Patrick Mahomes. Coming off the injury, Josh Allen has been better in the regular season the last couple of years. The Joe Burrow thing, it doesn't really make any sense to me, honestly. It's mind-blowing to me that that's the case. It's mind-blowing. Also, some of these other ones, like Penei Sewell. Okay. I mean, all right. I mean, you're telling me the Bengals had 2 of the top 5 players in the league last year and they missed the playoffs? Okay. All right. I would disagree, but okay. And I love Jamar Chase. Okay. All right. I mean, Nick said it's unacceptable. I echo that sentiment. It's a wild opinion to have. It is a wild opinion to have. Coming up at the top of the hour, Andrew Wiebe is going to join us on the show. He covers soccer for Apple TV. We had a World Cup game last night in Kansas City. We have another one coming up on Saturday. We'll get to it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is out here changing the game, because sometimes your player gets subbed off, and that means your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. With FanDuel's Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. Your bet stays alive, keeping you in the action longer. So if you're still in it until the final whistle, Super Sub covers the entire game, including extra time. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Look for the yellow Super Sub icon on the game page and the My Bets page. If your player leaves the match due to substitution or an injury, your bet will automatically transfer to the substitute who replaces that player. So go to FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid at Rob Seid Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Seid Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Seid Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Seid Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Seid Ford, 135th and State Line, or robseid.com.
Buy right, Rob Seid.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the Game of the Week Report, brought to you by Hyundai.
We have a full slate of pro baseball games scheduled for Monday across the league as we near the middle of the regular season. We'll see Chicago head to Baltimore and Detroit play in New York. Arizona will host San Francisco, while Seattle hosts Los Angeles.
The Game of the Week Report is brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Learn how it's so much more than just another SUV at HyundaiUSA.com.
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent, the future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation, and neither do we. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability, and we're still doing it every day. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC-Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
On the way to Belton, you'll tap your brakes. We've got a wreck that has been cleared, still very heavy. 49 southbound as you approach 150 highway near Olathe. That's a stall. 35 southbound just before Old 56. Scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Andrew Wiebe. He covers soccer for Apple TV. We'll talk about the match last night in Kansas City, where the Netherlands won. They are advancing to the knockout round. We'll get his thoughts on the United States and their game against Turkey. And also, as we look ahead to Wednesday, where the United States, they're going to play Bosnia in the knockout round. Starting Wednesday, it becomes single elimination for the United States in the World Cup. Earlier today, we played this. I want to play it for you again if you missed it. Here is Colin Cowherd. He is not worried about what happened last night in the United States loss.
Don't freak out. Take a deep breath. What you watched last night with the United States men's national team, let me put it in domestic football terms. We had clinched the playoff spot. We clinched the playoff spot. It's week 17. We played backups and lost on a field goal on the last play of the game. That's what happened. It's not about going unblemished. Argentina won the last World Cup. They lost. It's about winning your group stage, staying healthy, and preparing at your best with momentum for the knockout stage. Don't get clouded on this. 8 goals in 3 games.
That was Colin Cowherd today talking about the United States. The United States, they have clinched going to the next round. So it really didn't mean anything yesterday. They could have won 10-0. They could have lost 10-0. It did not matter. They had already clinched their group. So they played a lot of backups yesterday. Here is what they said on the post game about what happened last night with the United States.
You're going to have a lot of people that wake up tomorrow on random different talk shows that are saying, oh, this team lost to the worst team in the group and Turkey hadn't, won or scored, and now they scored 3 times and it's panic stations for the U.S. No, it's not. Everyone take a deep breath.
So that was the audio coming from Fox yesterday. I know they lost yesterday. Maybe you're wondering, what does that mean? I'm here to tell you that it doesn't really mean a whole lot. We'll talk to Andrew Wiebe about that coming up in just a little bit. There is one part of this World Cup experience that I did not factor in that has honestly been the most enjoyable part of all of this. Seeing non-Americans experience America and see it through their eyes has been a very, very wonderful experience. I was watching a YouTube video a couple of days ago. It was a news report from Atlanta, and they have a Waffle House not that far from one of the stadiums, from the football stadium. So a lot of people who were leaving the game were stopping in at Waffle House. You've heard about this place. You want to see it for yourself. And they were just giving it rave reviews. Oh, we love this. We don't have anything like this in our country. Waffle House, pretty amazing if you've never been before. Now, I want to play for you some audio about a condiment that you at this point in your life have probably taken for granted because it's just always been in your life. But could you imagine growing up in a society, in a world in which you didn't have the access that we have to ranch dressing? Listen to this.
What do you think you'll take away from your visit here in the United States, back to Germany?
Ranch. I love ranch. I tasted here and it's delicious.
And I take 2 bottles with home.
That man said he's taking 2 bottles home with him. The international obsession with ranch has gotten so serious, has gotten so strong, that TSA had to release a statement. Listen to this news story. As thousands of international fans travel across the U.S. for the tournament, many are discovering a uniquely American obsession, ranch dressing. The condiment's growing popularity has become so strong amongst visitors that TSA felt compelled to issue a warning. TSA reminded international travelers that ranch dressing is considered a liquid and must follow the agency's 3-1-run rule. Any bottle larger than 3.4 ounces must be packed into a checked luggage or risk being confiscated at security checkpoints. That's how serious this is. These people have come over here and we gave them a taste of that Hidden Valley. Imagine you get some homemade. I'm talking about the kind that's already. Imagine if you get some good homemade ranch dressing. Again, this is something that we take for granted because ranch is just so prevalent in our society. But imagine if you never had ranch. Imagine if this is something that you've never experienced. But you come over here and think, what's this? You sprinkle it over your salad. You're trying it with your wings. Yeah, let me try this. I've heard about this before. And this is the first time you're a 34-year-old and that's your first time getting a taste of that ranch dressing. I would understand wanting to take it back to your home country. I understand you want to get a couple of bottles and you want to put it in your check bag and you want to fly home with it. That makes perfect sense to me. We use their sauces. They're using our sauce. They're falling in love with ranch dressing. Rob, this is the kind of World Cup stuff we need to be sharing. These are the kind of stories we need to be talking about.
Maybe this was ignorance by me, and that's perfectly fair to say. I had no idea that Europe didn't have ranch.
I don't know. They're going crazy for it, man.
I know Europe is across the pond, but it's not that far away that they don't have ranch dressing. I get it. Waffle House, that's uniquely American. There have been some other thing, I saw a video of when the Japanese team and their fans went to Dallas for the first time. They were playing the Netherlands. They fell in love with Dallas barbecue. I get there are some things that are uniquely American. I had no idea that ranch dressing was one of those things. So you're telling me that if I order some chicken strips in London, I don't even have the option of ranch? It's just move on? Here's the list outside of that? That's crazy to me.
They must have mustard. I actually did not know this. But ranch dressing was invented in Alaska. It was invented in Alaska by a Nebraska-born man. So think about it. We went a long time of American society, of American history. We didn't have ranch. And one day there was a man, he was in Alaska. I'm sure there wasn't a whole lot to do. So he just started experimenting with herbs and spices. And he came across this concoction that changed the way that America eats salads, that changed the way that America eats wings. I love a good chicken bacon ranch sandwich. Who doesn't love a good chicken bacon wrap? We didn't have this in 1941. We did in the 1950s. Special thanks to this man in Alaska, born in Nebraska, that invented ranch dressing.
The born in Nebraska part adds up to me. That is a Midwest institution. He just brought it to the furthest you can get away from the Midwest, but that is the fact that he's a Nebraska man 100% adds up to me. No notes.
I've got more of it. Now that we're here, we might as well finish this segment out. Ranch dressing was invented in the early 1950s by a Nebraska-born plumber-turned-cowboy, Steve Henson. Not really a pipeline that you hear a whole lot about. Plumber-turned-cowboy, Steve Henson. He developed the buttermilk and herb recipe while working for crews in Alaska. He later perfected it for guests at the Hidden Valley Guest Ranch in Santa Barbara County, California. That's where we get Hidden Valley from. They were the OG when it comes to ranch. All this time, I had no clue. He then sold it in 1972.
Probably for a lot of money.
Oh, I'm guessing for sure. And then who we sold it to, they then sold it again. But yeah, Clorox actually bought it in 1972. He started it in 1956. So shout out to Steve Henson, a real American hero. This is honestly something that we need to do a better job of. We need a better job of America of telling the stories of people like Steve Henson. This was a man in the 1950s that just made something out of himself. He was a plumber turned cowboy, and one day just came up with an idea of a new way of eating salads that all of us have been, millions and billions of people have enjoyed. Ranch dressing. Thank you, Steve Henson, for all that you've done. Coming up at the top of the hour, Andrew Wiebe is going to join us. He covers soccer for Apple TV. We'll get his thoughts on the United States. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
On the way to Belton, you'll tap your brakes. We've got a wreck that has been cleared, still very heavy. 49 southbound as you approach 150 highway near Olathe. That's a stall. 35 southbound just before Old 56. Scoot to the left through here. I'm down with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off, and that means your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. Even if your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you keep your bet alive, and it keeps you in the action for even longer. So now you're in it until the final whistle. The Super Sub covers the entire game, including extra time. This summer is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be even better with our friends over at FanDuel. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Look for the yellow Super Sub icon on the same page and the My Bets page. If your player leaves the match due to substitution or injury, your bet automatically will transfer to the substitute who replaces that player. Go to FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer for the World Soccer Championship with FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-959-3388. That's 800-959-3388.
I hope you're sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you are a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone at 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
Gomer's voted Casey's #1 liquor store, family owned and operated since 1969. With excellent price, selection, and service, Gomer's has helped customers find the perfect libation for any occasion for over 50 years.
When it's time to find the good stuff you're looking for, you find it at Gomer's.
Tonight, cloudy with fog later, low of 66.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big
deal out of nothing, announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event.
Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months.
And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. What's the best way to describe M. Shamus? It's a feast of 14 meat, full rodizio, and 30 choices at our famous hot and cold gourmet bar. More items than most any other Brazilian grill experience. Dine in or retreat to our Inferno bar for lighter fare, small plates, and the best wine and spirits. Or enjoy our patio dining. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of eating.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
This is Michael Waka from the Kansas City Royals, and you're listening to 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Andrew Wiebe. He covers soccer for Apple TV. Andrew, happy to have you on to talk a little World Cup.
Oh, happy to be here. I'm still wringing myself out after last night at, I guess, what we're calling Kansas City Stadium. You know, we had all the accoutrements, so to speak, for a Chiefs tailgate. I think we were the only people in our row that had true coverage. We had a bunch of Dutch folks jam under the tent. It was a wonderful, wonderful night of soccer here in the city.
So let's talk about the day of soccer in Kansas City. I've never seen anything like the Orange March before. Just the amount of people, how happy everybody was. It felt like a championship parade, but the people, they were the parade.
Unbelievable. Like, it's one of those things, and I think we've seen it a couple times throughout this tournament so far, which, by the way, is still so young, where you just kind of have to pinch yourself and be like, I'm never going to see this or experience this again. And that is the magic of it. I was just checking out some of the time lapses of that orange fan walk or march or whatever you want to call it, the bus, the smoke, the flares. But it was a time lapse from one location downtown, and they took over. Like, the thing it actually reminded me of, Carrington, was when I was at the University of Kansas when we won the national title. And I remember running downtown to Mass Street in Lawrence, and from one tip of Mass to the other was just people celebrating with an amount of joy and just communal passion that I don't think I've ever experienced personally again. That's what it reminded me of. Like, there's not a piece of sidewalk for you to stand on. And they started way early in the morning. And by the way, they did it the night before at the Fan Fest. My family and I were there, and we saw the Orange Army coming in. We saw the Mexican fans jamming in for their game. And we're like, okay, this may not be the spot for a 5- and 8-year-old to see this party, but God, what a wonderful, wonderful day for anybody who got to witness all of that. And that's been my message from the jump to Kansas City. I know there are haters out there. I know there are people that say, hey, this World Cup's going to be a bust. It's only a bust if you don't participate.
I think you can say that all 3 of the games that we've had so far in Kansas City have had moments. Lionel Messi kicks things off with a hat trick. We had one of the great goaltending performances in the second game. And yesterday was about the Netherlands coming over and taking over the city.
I was at that Argentina game with my family. Just saying that I was there just gave me goosebumps in my house. Just that memory, that moment. I don't think my 5- and 8-year-old sons really know what they saw and experienced. Obviously, they're Messi stands, just like it seems like every other kid that age. But they're going to look back on that moment many, many years from now and just sort of be in awe that they were there. And it's one of the foundational memories of my life as a person, period, as a father for sure, but just my humanity. I will always check back to that moment and be like, I cannot believe that I experienced that. But this is the gift I think Kansas City deserves. I truly, truly think that. I mean, I've been covering soccer for almost 20 years now. I started in Kansas City out of the University of Kansas, went to New York City, but this has always been sort of my home, the place I wanted to return to. And to be back for this summer, it just feels like this full circle moment, not just for me personally, but I think for a city that has given so much to the game and maybe doesn't always give itself credit for the depth of soccer culture that we have. Like, this is the reward. It's the reward. We're only halfway there. Like, Austria-Algeria tomorrow night is going to be special. And then you're going to flip it over, and it's going to be win or go home. I mean, we might get Ronaldo, Messi in the quarterfinals in Kansas City. Are you kidding me? That is one of the most historic games potentially of all time in the World Cup, just in terms of star power and stakes. Again, Kansas City deserves this, and I'm just so happy that this community is getting to experience it and getting these games, these fan bases, these moments.
You mentioned it just a little bit there, and right now we're talking to Andrew Wiebe. He covers soccer for Apple TV. Do we have an idea of what matchup we could potentially get for July 3rd? And I think everybody has that July 11th game scheduled. I mean, ever since it was known who we were going to get, how things could potentially shake out, I think everybody is anticipating at least seeing Lionel Messi or possibly Cristiano Ronaldo for that game on July 11th.
I mean, listen, we can pray for it, right? I think the quarterfinals is a little bit up in the air. Like, there's just so many balls that need to fall before we really know for sure. But the odds from the jump have always been on Portugal being in Kansas City. Now, my understanding of some of the computations right now with Portugal is, like, I think they need to beat Colombia to sort of lock that in their final group stage game. But we are going to get a great game. And in a perfect world, we get Portugal coming off a win with Cristiano Ronaldo scoring some more goals, with that narrative flying of, like, Messi v. Ronaldo. Is Ronaldo washed? Is he over it? Is he over the hill? In some ways, he answered that against Uzbekistan. No disrespect to Uzbekistan. They are still Uzbekistan. So I am hoping for Cristiano Ronaldo. I will be there on July 3rd. I can tell you, like, my sons are basically praying at the altar to the soccer gods that they get Messi and Ronaldo in one swoop in the World Cup, and I'm right there behind them. Like, if we get that, man, we've had great nights. It's going to be another one with just that extra dollop of pressure, of stakes, of what the World Cup is really about, which is legacy making. And that's for teams, that's for players, that's for managers. And right now it's for a city as well. And Kansas City, I think, is making a hell of a legacy.
Let's talk about the USA game yesterday. Not sure how much of it you got to see because you went to the Netherlands game. I'm sure by now you saw how the game ended, at least.
Yeah, that was a disappointment, but no doubt about it. Like, I was hoping that the U.S. would come and find that goal and keep the momentum at the sky high and saying, oh, my God, we've never experienced this before at the U.S. national team's fans level. And, you know, they didn't. You know, Turkey didn't have anything to play for other than pride, and I think they showed that. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not concerned about that performance. I'm not concerned about that result even a little bit. You saw the huge rotation that Mauricio Pochettino did, and rightfully so. Like, it would be insane to play the 4 starters that were on yellow card cautions and have them get some yellow card in a meaningless game and then not play against Bosnia in the round of 32. Like, everything is still on track for the United States. The way that bracket is shaking out, the path to, I think, a quarterfinal at the very least. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm not saying it's impossible. It's very winnable. It's very gettable for this group of players, particularly in the form that they are in. I am as encouraged. I'm as enthusiastic. I'm as positive as I have been about the U.S. national team in, boy, I would have to really roll back the years, to be honest with you. I mean, we're talking about maybe even a decade. And the crazy thing, Carrington, is, like, it did not feel like we were going to get there before this World Cup. You know, before those friendlies, right before the tournament, it was sort of a like, hey, is this going to be the biggest flop? Is this a disappointing group? Are they going to blow it in what is really their prime? And I am so delighted to say that Pochettino has delivered in every way, in his tactical adjustments, in his lineup adjustments, in his cultural changes he's made to the team. And then these players who everybody said, myself included, hey, these are the most talented players we've ever had. But we all know talent does not always equal results. They flipped that switch at the exact right time. And I think this country is completely poised and already in the midst of this desire, this renaissance to just say, like, to remind the world, like, hey, we might not be a soccer-first country like you are, but we are a soccer country. And when our national team inspires us of any ilk, whether that's hockey, whether that's the Olympics, no matter, you know, whatever it is, the dream team, like, the United States, America gets behind. And I feel that passion, that push. And now I'm just hoping that the players, you know, that they open those doors up another couple feet and the whole country comes rushing through. Because if you can win 1 knockout round game, 2 knockout round games, that momentum, that belief, that passion, it just starts building. And then it's like, why not?
You mentioned momentum. Do you think last night means anything for the United States? It felt like they were going to play to a draw and then to lose that game at the very, very last second, but also understanding the U.S. is playing primarily backups. They didn't really need the result yesterday. I'm just curious from a momentum standpoint if you think the result of the game last night means anything.
Like, short answer, no. I don't think the U.S. are going to walk away from that one and, like, you know, wind is out of the sails and everything has changed within the camp and are things at doubt for that round of 32 game against Bosnia. I don't think that changes. Now, the flip side of that is, would it have been better to get a result? Would it have been better to do what Mexico did and get 3 points from every single match and feel like you're absolutely flying on the backs of your countrymen into the round of course. Of course that would have been better. But I think in the end, like, these guys play at such a high level so often in critical high-stakes games. I think that there is an acute understanding of what moments matter most, what the goal was from the game, and what they did in the first two games. To me, that momentum, that belief, those results, the form, the performances individually and collectively from the first two games, that is what Mauricio Pochettino is going to have this team revolving around. That is what those players who hit the field against Bosnia in San Francisco are going to be thinking about, are going to be channeling. To me, this game has no bearing whatsoever on what the U.S. is going to do the rest of the tournament. And, you know, listen, I'm just me, but listening to Thierry Henry and Zlatan talk about it afterwards and the absolute lack of concern on their part, two guys that have won, you know, in Thierry's case, everything at the highest level, in Zlatan's case, basically everything. You know, that tells you what these players are going to be thinking about. That's going to be water under the bridge, learn some lessons, some good runs, some good minutes for reserves that may need to jump in throughout the rest of the tournament. But listen, that was not our best group, and I believe the U.S. is going to put its best foot forward throughout the rest of this tournament. That doesn't mean they're going to win it. That doesn't mean they're making a long run. But I think this group is onto something, and they got a chance to do something special.
Let's fast forward to Wednesday's matchup against Bosnia. How would you handicap that matchup? It feels to me on paper, and I'm a soccer casual by all definitions, it feels like a game that the United States should go into expecting to win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no other way to think about it. Like, it's it. And you know, that's the nature of this stage of the competition. But on talent, on experience, on performances, on history in the competition, on just experience as a group, the U.S. are the very clear favorites. I mean, it's undoubtable. And now the U.S. has to sort of be in a position that we're not often in at World Cups, which is, okay, you're the clear favorites. How are you going to handle that situation? You know, are you able to, you know, take on a Bosnia team that maybe isn't as deep as you in terms of overall talent, but has played the U.S. really tight in the past, and put them to the sword? Because I think what the U.S. has shown in these first two games, and we'll throw Turkey out for just a second, because, again, I don't think that has any real bearing, is that when they come out aggressive, when they are the protagonists of the match, when they get an early goal, they can put the terms of the game into their own hands, which is just something I'm not used to saying about a U.S. team in a major competition outside of the Gold Cup, but it is so encouraging. I mean, listen, Switzerland, Canada, those are teams that I think we would say that we are at least peers with, getting good results against this Bosnia team. It's time for this group to go prove that all the talk for the last 6, 7, 8 years, that they're the next big thing, that they're the best generation in U.S. soccer history. Like, it's time to put the talk to the test. Like, this was always the moment. Home World Cup, an advantage that is just you don't get other than in that situation. Go be the South Korea from 2002. Go be the team that's at home that channels into their people and makes a huge, deep run and changes the soccer culture in their country. Like, that's the responsibility this group has. And if they lose to Bosnia, tragedy is too big of a word, but it is going to feel that way in terms of the opportunity blown.
I feel like everybody that we've talked to kind of has the same opinion, that it's about getting to the round of 16 and then everything else is gravy. Do you think this team can make a run? Do you think they could get to the quarterfinals? Do you think, I mean, it's now a single elimination tournament, and I do think they have shown better high-end talent than we've seen in past United States World Cup teams. Do you think this team can sort of dream big, so to speak?
Yes, and they should be dreaming big. Like, what's the point of all this if we're not? You know, I just think, you know, I covered the Brazil World Cup in 2014, and I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, I remember Jurgen Klinsmann coming out in a feature before the tournament and saying the U.S. cannot win the World Cup. And listen, he was not wrong. Like, I think that was a reasonable take to have, but it just struck me in that moment that it's like the most un-American thing to say. Like, why would we be saying that before a World Cup? Even if you believe it, don't say it out loud. Don't say it to your fan base. Don't say it to a country that has different expectations and wants to be inspired. So I love what Pochettino is saying right now. Like, why not? Why couldn't we? And you don't have to put a World Cup championship on the table. Is that going to happen? Almost certainly no. But almost certainly no, guaranteed no, if we don't believe that it can. I think this group can make a very deep run. I am also ultra realistic about what knockout competitions mean, and that means don't look ahead, right? Like, stack up victories, beat Bosnia, build some momentum. Let's see if that bracket really shakes out with the ending of the group stage to give you a nice, smooth path. But if you want to do something special, you are going to have to beat a Spain of the world. You are going to have to beat a big boy. And, like, you know, I remember the Confederations Cup so many years prior, you know, before South Africa. Like, did we think we were going to beat Spain that hadn't lost in, like, 3 years? Hell no. But the U.S. did it. And so I think it's time for us as a soccer culture, for that team, to just embrace the once-in-a-lifetime aspect of this and stop limiting ourselves by what other teams did. Stop limiting ourselves by what the history of the game or the history of our national team has done. Like, we are hosting the World Cup. We have an innate advantage in terms of comfort, in terms of fan support, in terms of just knowing our environment. Like, go believe that you can do something special. Inspire people. Make people come around to the U.S. national team, to our soccer culture. It could be the sports story of, I mean, honestly, like, I don't even want to put a number on it. I don't even want to put out a place in the tournament we could go. I just think if the U.S. can win one or two knockout round games, you are going to see this entire country rally behind them. And as a soccer fan for decades upon decades, like, that is the stuff of my dreams, and I hope I get to live my dreams this summer.
That is Andrew Wiebe joining us on the show. He covers the MLS. He covers soccer for Apple TV, breaking down the World Cup for us. Andrew, it's been fun so far. We're halfway through the games in Kansas City, and if the next three are anything like the first three, it's going to be a very exciting finish in this tournament. Really appreciate your time today, my man.
No, of course, buckle up for those three. And usually I'm in the car listening to you, so it's a pleasure to be on.
Absolutely. That's Andrew Wiebe joining us on the show. Are we allowed to call him friend of the show? I know the rules are that you have to come on the show 3 times, but he listens to the show. He has to be elevated because he's a listener of the show.
Do we put him in the Pat McAfee tier?
Okay. That's a good. You know what? I feel like he'll come on again before the World Cup is up. So maybe we'll just change the rules for it where he doesn't have to come on 3 times in order for us to call him friend of the show. Just 2 appearances. And the fact that he's a listener, I think that can maybe make him move to the front of the line and he can be there. Rob, I do want to talk a little bit of football here, but I would just have to imagine, as somebody who loves soccer, as somebody who is very excited to see the World Cup in Kansas City, you have to be thrilled with how it is going so far.
I mean, on all fronts, yes. I mean, we can start with the city. People were calling FIFA a scam. There was talk of a bust in Kansas City, the hotels, blah, blah, blah. Kansas City has put on an incredible performance as a host city. FanFest is getting wide shots on Fox. The Orange March is all over social media and all over Fox. Messi doing the historic thing at Arrowhead. You have the video of Argentinian fans not really wanting to leave Arrowhead. They're banging the spirals. Kansas City has done an exceptional job. I also think we already talked about it. The issues we had in match day 1 with transportation seem to have mostly dissipated. So, as a soccer fan, first and foremost, the city doing a great job makes me happy, and then the national team. If you had told me on June 1, hey, Rob, you're a national team fan. If I told you they got 6 points, they're going to be +7 in goal differential, they're going to win the group, and they're going to be lined up to face Bosnia, a third-place team, and they're out of 32, I'd be doing backflips. I would have been elated, and I should have been elated. So it on every level has gone great so far. You joked yesterday on the show that my energy was different going into the Turkey A match versus the Paraguay match. Wednesday, it's back to Paraguay match energy because we are now entering the knockout round, and one slip up, one misstep, one misplay can send you home. Bosnia is a team in the United States is probably better than, but they are sticky, they are good defensively, and they gave Switzerland 75 minutes of problem. They gave Canada a problem. They are a team that will bring a nice fan base to Levi Stadium. So I've enjoyed it so far. The anxiety will crank back up on Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Someone on the text line says the game on Wednesday is going to be much closer than you think. I don't know anything about Bosnia, so I don't really have any expectations going into the game, to be completely honest with you. I'm just going off what everybody else is telling me about this. I will guess, and I understand it's a little bit of an American kind of kiss with all of this, the U.S. is probably a minus 140 favorite.
Let's see what the
minus 160. Probably going to be it. The line's probably already out because we already know the matchup. The line's probably already there. That's what I would guess, though. I would guess the U.S. is somewhere minus 140, minus 160.
Oh, wow. So right now on our – now this is extra time and penalties. It's not the three-way, so it doesn't include that. So it's just outright advance. Minus 700 to qualify for the next round.
For who?
The United States.
Haven't they already made it?
I mean, like from the round of 32 –
Oh, okay.
The bet. So this is a little betting thing. You don't bet money line because technically after 90 minutes you lose. That's a draw. So you bet advance.
Minus 700 favorite for the
minus 700 favorite against Bosnia right now on FanDuel. Bosnia is plus 480.
That's a significant amount.
That's a big favorite.
I mean, I would agree then with the texter. If you're telling me this game will be closer, like I'd be surprised if the U.S. won 4-0 or something like that. Like I think this could be a 2-1 soccer game. But again, what do I know? I have absolutely no clue. I'm just telling you. It's a single elimination tournament. You're telling me at this point, and we're down to the round of 32, and we've cut out the dregs, like we cut out the bottom of this thing. There's no Uzbekistan or some of the teams in here that just haven't really shown you much in this tournament. I expect from now it will be very, very competitive, and the competition is only going to ratchet up for there. I am surprised minus 700. That's a big number.
I mean, to qualify for the next round, minus 700. So that makes them in the round of 16 minus 700. That feels like a waste of a bet if you're betting the United States. Now, maybe I didn't include the three-way where you could bet a draw after 90 minutes. The odds will change there, but minus 700.
No, that's a very, very big number. I can't get over this audio.
What do you think you'll take away from your visit here in the United States, back to Germany?
Ranch. I love ranch. I tasted here and it's delicious. And I take 2 bottles with home.
What do they use in Germany? Like, this is a genuine question. If they're this enamored with Hidden Valley Ranch, what do they use? What's the most popular salad dressing over there? Because the most popular salad dressing here is ranch, and I would say probably blue cheese is second. What's the most popular salad dressing in Germany? Why is this not a thing? Why is ranch not crossed over? Why has it not been crossed over?
Let me ask you this. Is ranch more popular? And I'll answer your question in a minute. Is ranch more known as a dipping sauce or a salad dressing in America? Because I think if you ask Europeans, hey, what do you put on your salad? Their brain doesn't go to ranch. That might be a uniquely American thing. I also think if we polled 100 Kansas Cityans, is ranch a dipping sauce or is ranch a salad dressing? You might get 50 answers in either direction. Because I don't dislike ranch on my salad, but I don't view it as a salad dressing because I view it more as a dipping sauce, like a chicken finger or something.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because I think of it more as a salad dressing. I don't really use ranch as a dip in the way that other people do. Like yesterday, we ate wings together. I did not dip it in any ranch. I mean, I have before, and I have used ranch on fries or other things, but for the most part, I use it as a salad dressing. So like if I'm going somewhere and they have a salad, I'm either getting the ranch or the Caesar dressing for the most part.
Yeah, I view it more as a dipping sauce because like last night, I was dipping my wings in the ranch. Like, we got some fries at the table. I was dipping those in the ranch. I'm a more of a dipping sauce kind of person. Now, I don't know what they put on their salads, but I would guess, based on my very limited knowledge of German food, it's a lot more mustard-based than ranch-based. That's my guess. And some of the text line points out, in Europe, it's very popular to dip fries into mayonnaise, which would be the equivalent of ranch in the United States.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. No, we're learning so much here. I have to tell you guys this very, very quick story. It just popped in my head. I can't believe Rob actually didn't bring this up during show prep earlier today. So yesterday, it was a group of about 7 of us, would you say, Rob, yesterday watching the game?
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
There's about 7 of us watching the game. We're all between the ages of 35 and 40. and Edward Norton and Brad Pitt were on the screen because they were enjoying the soccer game. Everybody at the table is getting super excited, except me. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's Brad Pitt. Rob snapped his head at me and said, no, that's the cast from Fight Club. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't really like it. You would have thought that in that moment I had said something like Death to America. The way that everybody, it was like that one meme from SpongeBob SquarePants. Everybody looked at me with this evil eye. I was like, what'd you say? I was like, yeah, no, I gave Fight Club a chance. I watched it. I watched it for about 30 minutes. Didn't really catch me. Didn't really like it. Stopped watching it. Have not really thought much about it since. Rob didn't really talk to me for the rest of the time. His energy was very different towards me after I had this opinion. I'm shocked you forgot to bring that part of our evening up, but that did happen yesterday.
I was trying to block it out of my memory because it's such a... I'm not saying we should view it as the best film ever made. I don't think it's that.
And then I told you, and at this point, I told you this. I said, I think Fight Club's a Two Americas movie. Our top text right now, I'm not making this up. Fight Club is one of those main white guy movies. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that Fight Club is a Two Americas movie. I understand that you love the movie. I get it. I don't really like Fight Club. It didn't really do anything for me. I did not find it very enjoyable.
I'm surprised it's a Two Americas movie. That's what's confusing to me.
You were offended that I even questioned and called it a Two Americas movie.
I thought for sure it had crossed over because of the stardom of Brad Pitt was just, he's universal. I'm very surprised you consider a Two Americas movie.
Okay. That was just that to happen yesterday. I just popped in my mind. I figured I would tell you guys that story. All right, coming up on the other side, Rob, can we talk running backs? I think I've got a good running back topic today that I want to talk to you about. We'll do it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
I do think I know a whole lot about good barbecue. As somebody born and raised in Kansas City, I feel pretty knowledgeable to speak on this. And that's why I'm here telling you to go stop by and see my friends, our friends, over at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations around town, you are never too far away from that classic Gates taste. And right now, we got a lot of tourists in town. We were talking about that earlier today. Well, you know what? The tourists are going to Gates. I was just there over the weekend. It was a 30-minute line outside. People in there just so happy to try some of the original Kansas City barbecue. So be sure to go stop by any one of the area 5 locations. And when you're in there, make sure you get some of those fries. You got to sprinkle it in the sauce. Also, make sure you get some of that burnt E-Mac. I'm telling you, absolutely delicious. Well, maybe you don't plan on going to any of the stores right now. It is a little bit hectic with everything going on right now, but you got to go to the grocery store, right? Well, make sure you get some of that Gates seasoning. I've been using that whenever I cook breakfast. It's absolutely fantastic. We got the 4th of July right around the corner. Make sure you get some of the sauces and seasonings for your barbecue. Make sure you have that for your cookout with your family and all of those things. It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here letting you know as we are celebrating Kansas City, we're celebrating our culture with the world. Be sure to celebrate Gates Barbecue.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Fanatic Sportsbook makes every baseball game day this season hit harder. Swing for the fences with long ball jackpots. Just pick the player who hits the longest homer of the day to win a share of $50K in fan cash. every day brings a new shot to win. Customers also get baseball profit boosts every game day. And your bets earn you fan cash, win or lose. To spend on merch, tickets, exclusive experiences, and more. Go deep this baseball season and download Fanatic Sportsbook today for the best baseball betting experience each and every game day. Fanatic Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MyReset. CT call 888-789-7777. MA call 800-327-5050. NY call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
Stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle. For help, call the number on the blue and white emergency notification system sign at the crossing. Give them the crossing number to alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life. For more information, visit oli.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Shawnee Mission Ford. On a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLInjuryLaw.com.
Okay, we've got a crash. 435 headed southbound as you approach 23rd. It is the two left lanes that are blocked. 49 southbound, yep, Red Bridge, that stall blocking part of the right lane. That's a lot of onlooker delay that's tapping their brakes through there. I'm Valley Traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, let's talk a little bit of running backs. So, I was listening to the Chiefs Concern podcast, shout out to them, and they were having a conversation about Kenneth Walker. And just to really give the show some balance, because Rob's been happy, soccer has been the number one topic on the show. I can't just let Rob run around all happy and thrilled and delighted because of that. I have to give the show some balance. Talking about running backs is just the balance that this show needs. Here is what the great people over at Chiefs Concerns podcast had to say about Kenneth Walker.
I think with Kenneth Walker, there's going to be two increases. Obviously, rushing attempts. And number two is because of what he's going to be able to do against, the defense. His impact going against what the defense does against us and how they play us. So I think he'll be a big difference maker. I really do. And so when I looked at like rushing attempts, Marcus, I was just checking this out. We were 25th in the NFL in rushing attempts last year. And to be honest with you, that right there is just not good enough. If you're not really getting, running the ball, you're not really moving the chains like you should, running the football, it's always going to be a hard road.
So, Rob, this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I think that you have been trying to downplay the impact that Kenneth Walker could potentially have on the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he is a needle mover. I think he is a significant impact for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me give you some of the stats. The people over at Chiefs Concern, they did the work for me. I don't even got to do it. Listen to this. In week 1, Rob, the Chiefs lost by 6 points. You want to know how many rushing yards their leading running back ran for? 25 yards in that game. Week 2 against the Eagles, the Chiefs lost by 3. Their leading running back had 31 yards. Week 4, the Chiefs lost by 3 points. Their leading running back had 49 yards. You are starting to get the point. Now, I know that you're big on it doesn't matter to run the football, but most of the Chiefs' offensive problems last season stem from the fact that they got no contribution from the run game, and their offense was always out of whack, and their offense was always imbalanced. This year, I think by just having more balance, by being able to run the football, by being able to have something offensively that they can rely on, and what that could potentially open up in the back half with the defense, I think is a significant change. This will not be the case. There is not going to be, I'm sitting here looking at it, Rob, there are 7 games last season in which the Chiefs lost by single digits, and their leading rusher rushed for less than 50 yards in the game. That will not happen this season. They're not going undefeated, obviously, but they are going to be much more balanced offensively, and I think that's just going to lead to a lot of growth for them on that side of the ball.
My 2 biggest frustrations with Kenneth Walker are this, because I actually agree with you. The Chiefs' run game was, as the kids say, bad last year. Real bad. Like, you could argue bottom 5 in the league, because they were, in fact, bottom 5 in the league. My 2 things where I downplay Kenneth Walker is, 1, my frustration, I think they overcorrected. You can improve the run game without spending the top dollar to do it. You could have gone from 28th in the NFL in rushing to 14th and not spent a premium penny to do it. There was a way to improve without going out of your way and sacrificing other options because it was running back. The offseason's done, but I will continue to point that out. 2, my reason I downplayed Kenneth Walker is because while I think he is going to improve the run game, I do not believe the reason the Chiefs' offense was mediocre last season is just running back. I think they had ills at every level of the team last year. I think they had coaching flaws. I think they had O-line flaws. I think they had running back flaws. Those were obvious. We agree on that. And I think they had wide receiver flaws.
Well, we can go back here. I want to go back to what you said. I want to stop, though. We agree. Running back was very high up on the list.
I could argue it's even 1. Even me as a running back hater, it was number 1.
We agree.
It's been fixed.
They've thrown a lot of resources at trying to fix that issue.
Fixed, yes.
If you think it was an offensive line issue, one of their offensive line issues is their left tackle just took a month of PTO. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen this year. I don't know what happened. I don't know what didn't happen. But one of the problems last year with the Chiefs was their first-round draft pick just decided to be gone in the month of October, and there was at least, this isn't even an opinion, there was 10 days where the Chiefs did not really know a whole lot of information with Josh Simmons. Now, hopefully that is behind them. So I would just think by that very small thing, they are going to be improved on the offensive line. Now, let's move to the wide receiver room. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but you at least know starting the season that Rashee Rice is not going to be suspended. So I hear what you are saying. I don't want to make it seem like all of the issues were just the lack of a running game. It was certainly a big part of it. But I would say most of the other issues that you have, you would hope that they are just going to correct themselves on their own with not a whole lot of work from anybody else. Rashee Rice is not suspended. Great. So I just expect him to play in more games this season potentially than he played in last year. He only played in 8 games last year. So we can be through that number by the middle of November. We can be through with that number. You're not expecting Josh Simmons to take off the time that he did last year. Some of their problems I think are very, very correctable. And that's why, at least for me, there is a feeling of optimism around the Chiefs offense.
I also optimistic around the Chiefs offense. I mean, it was bad last year. They also corrected coaching, or we believe they corrected coaching, to my point about all 3 levels. But I want to see it to believe it. Because one of the problems last year is the RPO game. But it's no secret that was a problem in the Chiefs offense last year. One of the reasons the RPO game was a problem in the Chiefs offense last year is because the quarterback never did the R version. He always went P. We had Mitchell Schwartz, an offensive lineman. He did an excellent Instagram breakdown about this last year in November. He came on the show, did another excellent breakdown of this. He said, there are running lanes in these RPOs. Patrick Mahomes isn't ever running the football. Now, the thought is, when that play is called on September whatever against the Broncos, he thinks it's run time as opposed to pass time. but I want to see the fixes in real time before I just say, bing, bang, boom, the offense is back. Because the other problem that I don't think was corrected is, yes, Rasheed Rice will be not suspended this year. Xavier Worthy will hopefully not run into his own teammate. But when they were both on the field, you know what they couldn't do? Beat man coverage. I don't know that being on the field this year versus last year is going to just fix that man coverage problem.
That's fair.
Which I don't know that Tyquan Thornton being on the team or what's his face from Cincinnati, the draft pick, are also just cure-alls to that problem. So I just view the Chiefs' offensive struggles as they were in every part of the offense. And I worry they fixed one part, maybe 1.5 parts, but they haven't cured everything.
Yeah, the RPO thing, I understand everybody, like, people are allowed to, like, the RPO thing has such a negative effect. I don't care about the RPO thing. For all of the conversations that we had last year with the Chiefs about giving Kareem Hunt more carries, Rob, what team does Kareem Hunt play for? Because I don't think it's fair for me, because I was the one pointing out, text line, you can vouch for this, I was the one arguing, hey, if Eric Bieniemy is so great, why does nobody else in the league seem to want Eric Bieniemy? For everybody that was telling me, hey, the Chiefs should have gave Kareem Hunt the ball more last year, the Chiefs should have gave Kareem Hunt the ball more last year, every team in the NFL has a chance to get Kareem Hunt. We are a week away from the 4th of July. He's not on a team. So if you're telling me that last year the Chiefs' leading rusher is just still sitting there, it tells me everything I need to know about their running back room. Think about it. Their running back room was as follows. Kareem Hunt, who is unemployed. Isaiah Pacheco, who is going to be a backup from somewhere, very quickly found a job. I think it could end up working out. It was Elijah Mitchell, who is also not currently on a team, and Brashard Smith, who is probably a bottom 5 guy on your roster for this upcoming season, like a special teams guy. Not like their running back room was really bad, not just by Chiefs standard, but by how they are being viewed by. It's not like the rest of the league sees Kareem Hunt as a guy that the Chiefs didn't use and now we bring him in this system, despite the fact that he was one of the best short yardage backs in the National Football League. Hell, if you just bring in Kareem Hunt for that next year, that would be a positive for some of these teams, and they still don't want to sign him to this point. So I'm just not going to be here saying the plan for the Chiefs last year was to give that guy the ball, when right now there's not a team in the league that wants to give that guy the ball. I got more Chiefs stuff next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Mia from the Winnings Desk. Every Missouri lottery ticket helps support Missouri public education. Over $8 billion and counting. I was going to list every school, but yeah, there's over 2,400 of them. See the full list at molottery.com/education. Play it forward and play responsibly.
We could describe it, use words like refreshing, perfectly balanced, and ice cold, or we could tell you it was called Frostbite by Casey's. It's a delicious frozen drink, and mediums are free every Friday with Casey's Rewards. Free Frostbite Fridays. It's not crazy, it's Casey's. See store for details.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause 30 told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. Always trusting Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Feeling the squeeze of high prices? Then stretch your budget this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Stock up and save big with 99-cent deals throughout the store. Get special recipe brats, pork loin ribeye, Dole salad kits, and more for just 99 cents. Fill your cart for less with red-hot deals on hundreds of items. Order online or through the Hy-Vee app and leave the shopping to us. Don't miss the 99-cent sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Soccer Fever is in Kansas City, and Hy-Vee is your headquarters for official merchandise, apparel, tailgate, and watch party needs. And Hy-Vee makes game day so easy. They have ready-to-go wings, pizza, party trays, charcuterie, and, of course, all those delicious sweet treats. If you're planning a cookout, great. Hy-Vee special recipe brats, burgers, and steaks are the best. Check out their match day meat bundle for only $30. And don't forget about Hy-Vee's wine and spirits department. For all of your game day needs, count on Hy-Vee.
The world's game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2-up early payout so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pre-game straight match results bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you'll instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the world's game. Don't miss your shot at an early win with 2-up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. This promotional offer not available in Ontario, Pennsylvania, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. Available in the U.S. For New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. New and existing customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel, must be present in a state where it's legal to wager.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, in Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan, as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC-Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, Olathe, that's a 2-car crash. 35 northbound, it's the on-ramp from Old 56 Highway. Southbound side is a little bit slow as well. 635 southbound now, the on-ramp from Shawnee Drive. That's where the 2-car crash is. Move to the right. I'm bound with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
We'll get back to soccer here in a bit. I don't know. I'm just in a football talking mood today. So I was on The Athletic earlier today, and Jesse Newell, shout out to him. Jesse Newell did his early projection for what he had as the 53-man roster. Now, I'm not here to spoil the story. I certainly hope you click on it and support our guy, Jesse Newell. But there was only really one surprise on there. The roster was exactly what you would think if you really keep up and follow the team. Like, I don't really think it's that hard to predict who's going to make this year's team. But I instantly scrolled down to the cornerback room because I was curious. I think right now they only have, Rob, 2 real position values. Now, whether it comes to D tackle, I just don't consider that to be a position battle. All those guys are going to play. They're all going to be in the rotation. So whether it's Tonga's on the field or Peter Woods is on the field, like, they're all going to play. They're all going to play. Like, I'm not that worried about that. There's some positions where only one person can play. Now, maybe I'm crazy or I'm buying into all of the early stuff. I don't know if Jalen Moore has that right tackle job as locked in, as solidified as people think that it is. Rob, how many of the stories have you read over the course of the last 90 days about the Chiefs and how practice are going have been about all of the other guys at that position and not about how Jalen Moore has been dominating and has this job on absolute lock? Whether it's been Issa Pole, whether it's been that undrafted kid out of Indiana, there's been a lot of hype and buzz about other right tackles and not really a whole lot of buzz around Jalen Moore. I still think he is going to start. I still think he's going to be the starter, but I don't know if you can be absolutely stunned if that doesn't end up being the case.
I mean, that is probably the biggest position value.
I think there's another position of value. I think that's corner. I think the question now is going to be, are they keeping Christian Fulton or Kader Kohu?
I'm going to say that's, and I apologize for interrupting. That I think is different to me. That's not a starter. Like, because that's Kohu versus Fulton. I don't think either one of them is like the day one cornerback number one. Yeah, they'll be in the rotation, similar to D tackle. Right tackle, there's only one of them on the field.
Like, I don't know if both of those guys can be on the roster. I think it's a battle for it. I think it's a battle. Like a legitimate, I think it's two guys fighting for one spot. Like, we can go through the cornerback room and I can tell you the list that Jesse Newell had. Tell me how both of them end up making the team. If you think Snead is making the team, obviously Delane's making the team, Williams is making the team, Kennedy is making the team. They ain't keeping 7, 8 corners. One of those two guys is on the roster. The other person is not going to be on the roster.
And you're 100% sure Snead's making the team.
I am sure that Snead's making the team. They don't really bring in those former guys to then release them in a couple of months. Now, I mean, the injury could end up being a thing.
Yeah.
The injury could end up being a thing. But if Snead is healthy, he knows that defense as well as anybody in that room, maybe on that side of the ball, honestly. Yeah, I feel strongly that L'Jarius Snead is going to make the team.
I'm not as strong about L'Jarius Snead making the team as you are, just because his body was just terrible in Tennessee. We can't undervalue how bad his body was in Tennessee. I don't think corner is the biggest position value as you do, because I think it's a foregone conclusion Christian Fulton's cut. I don't think Christian Fulton's making this roster. I guess that's the battle between he and Kohu, but I just don't see
Jesse Newell had it the other way. Jesse Newell had Christian Fulton on the team and had Kohu not making the team.
Jesse is a great reporter. He's around the Arrowhead every day. What have the Chiefs done that makes you think they like Christian Fulton?
I'm on your side. I think Kohu's making the team. I just thought it was interesting.
Ever since Christian Fulton's plan landed, did they even do a little welcome to KCI free agent signing video last year? He landed, got to the facility, and the minute he got to be able to play real football, they were like, nah, this ain't it. No thanks. Take some time away. He couldn't play in the preseason games. I don't think they like him enough to keep him over Kohu. Now, Kohu also could have the health issue that I just can't answer because he was battling that in Miami as well.
Someone asked the possibility of, do you think they could trade one of those two guys to Detroit? Detroit is certainly going to need a corner after Terrion Arnold. I mean, he's about to be locked up. Terrion Arnold is not playing football this season for anybody. He's going to jail.
I think they could, but I think you're going to get pennies on the dollar.
Oh, for sure. I mean, but I would also say you get pennies I don't know if you're trading Kohu. I mean, you just signed him to a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
You're not going to turn around and trade him before he ever plays for you. The person you would then trade in that scenario would be Christian Fulton.
And Kohu's in free agency. Maybe the Lions medical staff didn't clear. There's things that could be
You've
at
also
play.
got a need now that just popped up. And there's also going to be other injuries. Someone on the text line says, CDOT, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago and you thought I was wrong. I mean, I still think that Jalen Moore is going to start on the team. A lot of it just is financially. Let's say that the Chiefs moved on from Jalen Moore. Let's just say right now that they think Issa Pole is their right tackle and they're going to have Jalen Moore again, or maybe they'll think about doing something else. That would be, in my opinion, the worst deal that Brett Veach has ever signed. So far, they have given Jalen Moore $21 million guaranteed. They have his signing bonus last year, which was $7.4 million. They guaranteed last year's salary for a player who didn't really play a whole lot for them, and they've already guaranteed $7 million of his salary for this season. He also has a bonus based on being active, which I imagine he'll be active next year for the team as well. Some of why I think Jalen Moore is going to play is just going to be financially. You've already paid all of this money he almost has to play at this scenario. So I think as much as we're going to talk about it maybe being a positional value, a lot of times it's very simple. Follow the money. They're paying Jalen Moore real money. Jalen Moore's base salary is $14.2 million. I can look it up here really quickly with Issa Pole. Issa Pole is on a 2-year, $1.8 million deal. Who do I think is winning that battle between those two? Is it the guy making $14 million and the guy that got $7 million guaranteed already, or the guy that's making $1 million this season? Something tells me financially Jalen Moore is going to start for them this year.
I still think Jalen Moore is the starter. I'm just speaking of players they've never shown like a belief in. Jalen Moore is the guy that they signed on the first day of free agency last year, and they have basically never played him outside of when they were forced to because of Joshua Simmons.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we will reset things. We are halfway done with the World Cup games here in Kansas City. And I would say so far, the World Cup has been an A+ in Kansas City. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, Olathe, that's a 2-car crash. 35 northbound, it's the on-ramp from Old 56 Highway. Southbound side is a little bit slow as well. 635 southbound now, the on-ramp from Shawnee Drive. That's where the 2-car crash is. Move to the right. I'm bound with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
I do think I know a whole lot about good barbecue. As somebody born and raised in Kansas City, I feel pretty knowledgeable to speak on this. And that's why I'm here telling you to go stop by and see my friends, our friends, over at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations around town, you are never too far away from that classic Gates taste. And right now, we got a lot of tourists in town. We were talking about that earlier today. Well, you know what? The tourists are going to Gates. I was just there over the weekend. It was a 30-minute line outside. People in there just so happy to try some of the original Kansas City barbecue. So be sure to go stop by any one of the area 5 locations. And when you're in there, make sure you get some of those fries. You got to sprinkle it in the sauce. Also, make sure you get some of that burnt E-Mac. I'm telling you, absolutely delicious. Well, maybe you don't plan on going to any of the stores right now. It is a little bit hectic with everything going on right now, but you got to go to the grocery store, right? Well, make sure you get some of that Gates seasoning. I've been using that whenever I cook breakfast. It's absolutely fantastic. We got the 4th of July right around the corner. Make sure you get some of the sauces and seasonings for your barbecue. Make sure you have that for your cookout with your family and all of those things. It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here letting you know as we are celebrating Kansas City, we're celebrating our culture with the world. Be sure to celebrate Gates Barbecue.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and that means your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. Even if your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you keep your bet alive and it keeps you in the action for even longer. So now you're in it until the final whistle. The Super Sub covers the entire game, including extra time. This summer is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be even better with our friends over at FanDuel. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Look for the yellow Super Sub icon on the same page and the My Bets page. If your player leaves the match due to substitution or injury, your bet automatically will transfer to the substitute who replaces that player. Go to FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer for the World Soccer Championship with FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
And now at Staples, save 25% on all custom banners.
Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. Some banners available same day when ordered by 12 p.m. Ins 8-1 exclusions apply.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It's Chris Mack with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. The NL Cy Young favorite takes the hill tonight for Milwaukee as they host Chicago with a chance to expand their strengthening grip on their 6.5-game NL Central lead. Milwaukee's starter averaging 9.5 strikeouts over his last 11 starts. So with a K prop listed at 8.5, the over definitely worth consideration. He also hasn't gone fewer than 6 innings in his last 8 starts, so there's the 17.5 outs recorded prop to look at as well. I'll be on both tonight as we use a calculator alongside the radar gun to keep track of just how many times he hits triple digits with that fastball. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Let me give you a little bit of breaking news. Bobby Witt Jr. is back in the Royals lineup today. He is hitting second for the Kansas City Royals. It goes Jensen, Witt Jr., Caglione, Thomas, Massey, Perez, Rojas, Lofton, Collins, and Cruz is on the mound today. We are off a little bit early today for the Kansas City Royals, but I wanted to let you know that Bobby Witt Jr. healthy and back in the lineup. Another story that we probably won't get to in the hits today is the Canadian Football League has also come out and said that today they are not going to allow Brendan Sorsby to compete in the CFL this season. The universe is sending Brendan Sorsby a sign. Brendan, I gave you this advice a couple of days ago. I want to give you the same advice today. It's over. What I would advise you to do is to go back to Texas Tech. I would advise you to be a part of the team, on the scout team. Don't play, but practice. Be in the meetings. Do all the things that football players do to keep your body in the routine of what it means to be a football player. Texas Tech has shown that they'll stand by you. They've already honored your NIL contract. I don't know why they wouldn't want you around for this season. Show everybody that you're changed. Enter the NFL draft next season. Dominate in Texas Tech's Pro Day and get drafted next year in the NFL. Put these lawsuits away. You just have to acknowledge that the universe is telling you you're not playing football this season. The NFL doesn't want you. The CFL doesn't want you. There's no UFL for you to go to. Let's quit the lawsuits and it's over. This is a sign. Stop trying to fight it. You just have to let it happen. The NFL is not changing their mind when it comes to the supplemental draft. The Big 12 and SEC, they've made their decision. You're not competing this year. So that would be my advice to you. It's free advice. I don't need a retainer. This is not legal. It's just, this is common sense advice. This is the universe. This is the atmosphere. It is trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you just to sit down. I would do some community service. I would go speak to high school kids. I go speak to people who have gambling problems and talk about it and what it costs you and all of those things. And I would do everything I could that in February, when you can have a sit-down conversation with Roger Goodell, You can show him how well you've done over the last 6, 7, 8 months, and that the NFL should give you their blessing to come compete in their league. That's what I would advise Brendan Sorsby to do. We'll see if he will take that information. So I wanted to pass those 2 notes to you as well. Bobby Witt Jr. back. Brendan Sorsby, he is not playing football this season, not for anybody. All right, I would like to talk a little bit of soccer as we get the day going as well. We were having some fun with this audio earlier today. This is bigger than soccer. The Europeans are finding out about our love of ranch dressing.
What do you think you'll take away from your visit here in the United States, back to Germany?
Ranch. I love ranch. I tasted here and it's delicious. And I take 2 bottles with home.
So we were having conversations about ranch dressing, and we actually learned a lot about ranch dressing. Rob did not know this. I did not know this. Maybe you didn't know this. Ranch dressing was invented in 1950. It was invented by a man. His name is Steve Henson. He was a plumbing contractor. He was a part-time cowboy that he had this kind of concoction. All of a sudden, he got it. It got really, really popular. He moved to California. He opened up the Hidden Valley Ranch, and people would come from far and wide for the ranch. Now, Rob, I learned this back in the day. It was just the little ranch powder. It was just the seasoning. He then sold it to the Clorox company. They own Hidden Valley. He sold it to them for $8 million back in 1972. Or 1972, excuse me. And then in the 1980s, that's when they started selling the bottle of the pre-made mix, the kind that you have today, probably in your refrigerator.
Yeah, I don't think he got great value on giving up that recipe. I would imagine ranch dressing has
I just feel like eventually, even if you have that kind of idea, just because of Clorox and the distribution, you probably have to eventually sell that idea. Like, there's only so far that you as the person are going to be able to take that idea. So in 1972, you cash out at $8 million. I don't know what kind of shares or whatever, how the rest of the deal kind of worked. I just think that at some point you were going to have to sell out to the man, and you selling out for $8 million during the 70s. You did all right.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. $8 million in my brain is different in 1970 versus 2026. Sure. You're right. I don't know the inflation rate, but he's probably a billionaire by the standards of the 70s just by having a ranch powder.
If ranch is the number 1 most popular salad dressing, and you would say blue cheese is number 2, what do you think number 3 is? Like, if we were playing like Family Feud, what do you think number 3 is? I'm going to look this up while you're thinking.
So salad dressing, right? We're doing
just regular salad dressing. What would you say if ranch is number 1 and blue cheese is number 2? What do you think number 3 is?
Italian.
Interesting. I was thinking Thousand Island would be my
Thousand
answer.
Island's not a bad guess. Honey mustard's probably in this conversation right around here, but I'm going to go with Italian dressing.
Okay, I will find this up. I will look this up because now I'm curious and now I want to learn more about ranch dressing. But I mean, there is one thing that is for sure. We as Americans, we do love ranch dressing. So I could understand if someone was texting me and saying that the reason they don't have it over there is some of the ingredients are actually banned over there in Europe. So when they get a chance to have it, they go crazy for it because ranch is pretty good. I can only imagine. They're flying back with it. They're putting it on their carry-on. TSA had to say that they're treating it like a liquid. So you can't just put it on your carry-on bag. You have to check it like you would any other liquid. So they're taking ranch home with them as they are over here for the World Cup.
I did see Hidden Valley put out a tweet saying they are now offering travel-sized bottles for Europeans to head home.
For sure, you got to.
But that won't satiate the Europeans, but I mean, you got to do something to get to hit this wave that you've gotten.
Oh, people are saying Caesar dressing.
Oh, that's a good answer. Caesar's a good answer.
Caesar dressing, yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
I don't know that I'm as 100% sold blue cheeses too as you are.
Oh, I just assume that because I feel like most of the time when you go out to eat, they ask you, do you want ranch or blue cheese? I feel like those are the two. It's like an A or B. Like, I wasn't insinuating anything. I very rarely get the blue cheese. I just feel like most of the time if you were going out and you say you want a salad, they normally start with, do you want ranch or blue cheese? Or do you want some kind of dip? So that's why I assumed that blue cheese was so high.
See, I don't
that was not a take or an opinion.
I think you're conflating salad with wings here. At wings, they always ask you ranch or blue cheese. With salad, I don't think blue cheese is number 2. That's my opinion on.
No, that's fair. I did not mean to disrespect Caesar dressing. I love Caesar dressing. That's what I thought. So no, I just want to let you at least know on my thought process. All right, let's talk a little bit of World Cup. We don't have a whole lot of time left this week for the show. I do want to get to the Netherlands experience yesterday. We got some updated numbers and what we saw with Team USA. Hit it, Rob.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrying the hits are brought to you by Jungle Law. Call the lawman today at Jungle Law, 816-816-9111. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, it's time to call the lawman. And be sure to watch the lawman get roasted for a good cause Saturday, August 1st at the historic Uptown Theater.
Can you do something for me? When you start talking of Jungle Law, can you start talking about him with the proper respect? He is now friend of the show. We're working on having him come in studio, and he said that when he comes in studio, we're going to be able to live stream it, and he's also going to bring the monkey. I'm also going to try to have it where he takes questions so we can ask him legal questions as well. I want to learn as much as we can about Jungle Law. So I just want the next time you have to do the read, you don't have to do it now, but the next time you do the read, I just want you to pay Jungle Law. I want you to pay him the proper respect for being a sponsor of the show and being a personal friend, somebody whose number I have right now. We have been texting.
You have been texting. It was a wild ride yesterday when the salesperson came into the Peanut and they're like, hey, the lawman decided to come on the show. He's going to bring the monkey. And I'm like, that's a sentence I never thought I'd hear. I'm not saying I don't want the monkey. It was a very odd sentence to hear out loud.
I wanted to know. We've never had a monkey in studio before, so you know what? I'm all here for first. When's the last time you did something for the first time? So I'm very thrilled about this. All right, let's talk a little bit of soccer before we sign off for the day. Let's start with the United States. Now, for the first time maybe in recorded history, I can say that I watched all of the Team USA game, and Rob did not. Rob did not watch the entire game. You want to know how I know? Rob left when there was still time left in the first half, and I know Rob did not get home in time for the start of the second half. I know he didn't. So I sat there and watched every single dribble of that game. I blew the vuvuzela when they scored a goal. I'm locked in because I love America. I can't say that about Rob Brenton. As we have found out this week, his colors run, mine don't. So, Rob, I thought this was your favorite team, but obviously over the last couple of days, you've shown your true colors when it comes to United States men's soccer. How are you feeling? We are now done with group stage. They are now heading to the single elimination round. You guys call it the knockout round. You are headed toward the knockout round Wednesday at 7 o'clock. It's going to be on Big Fox. It's going to get a big rating. We're working on we can't call it a watch party. We are working on another viewing of the team.
Gathering of souls.
The gathering of souls is what I've been calling it. We've been working on the gathering of souls for the game. How are you feeling heading into Wednesday's matchup against Bosnia?
I am very confident right now in the United States because of what they've achieved. If you had told me on June 1st, hey, Rob, they're going to win Group D, I'd have been like, all right, that's nice. If you had told me they won Group D with 6 points, I'd be like, oh, that's real nice. Like 2 wins, that's fantastic. If you had told me they did it with their third game not mattering in a goal differential of +7, I would have been like, all right, come on, now you're messing with me. This is not the United States men's national team I'm used to seeing. They don't have that level of just outright success. Even in a group that is a little bit watered down, it doesn't go that way for the United States. They haven't won back-to-back group play matches since 1930. So I sit here today elated at what has happened with the United States. I'm beginning to get a little bit nervous about Bosnia. We got time before that anxiety cranks all the way up because that is a team that could potentially create some defensive problems for the United States, and they are going to bring a large swath of fans out to San Francisco, so it's not the 90-10 home crowd the United States is used to experiencing, but what we have experienced so far is that the United States is performing as well as I could have imagined. And if the bracket continues to break right, you can dream a dream a little and think they will make the quarterfinals.
Now, I cannot speak for the diehard soccer fans. I can't. I can only speak as the super casual soccer fan who knows that once we get past July 11th and the World Cup is over, I'm going to move on with the rest of my life. But the World Cup has gone about as well as I think the World Cup could possibly go so far. Now, I'm not here to talk about the Airbnb or the tourism numbers. I don't care about any of that. I'm talking about the event of it. Lionel Messi has had a hat trick. Haaland has scored a couple of goals. Cristiano Ronaldo has scored a couple of goals. Kylian Mbappe. What's the kid? Lamine Yamal on Spain. He's scored a couple of goals. Brazil looks like, after their tie in the first game, they look like they're a real international power. All the teams that people told me were going to be good, all the players that people have told me to watch and pay attention to, they have done exactly what they're supposed to do. Locally, the 3 games that we have had, they have all had really incredible moments. That first game, they announced that we were going to get a World Cup in Kansas City 4 years ago. It was a long time ago that this happened. They announced what games we were going to get, probably 2 years ago, 18 months ago. So we've had a lot of time to think about the World Cup. The first game, it could not have gone better in Kansas City than it did. The weather was absolutely beautiful, and the greatest soccer player, maybe the greatest living athlete this side of Michael Jordan, put on an all-time iconic performance in that first game. Patrick Mahomes is there. The celebrities are there. The crowd is beautiful. Arrowhead looks amazing. Kansas City looks amazing. And the star of stars goes out there and puts on a show. In the second game, it is one of the great goaltending performances in the history of the World Cup. If they do a soccer one shining moment, if this was a thing, if they had it, that performance would be in the one shining moment montage, all of these saves. And that game was only close. It was only a tie because of Curaçao's goalie. Fast forward to yesterday. I don't think really could have gone any better. Now, we thought the weather was going to be a factor. The game started on time. They now have updated the orange walk numbers. At first, they said it was 22. And Rob, you remember, I said 22 just didn't make any sense to me. I was out there. I saw it. You were out there and saw it. The crowd and number of people that were out there is not just half of what would fill up Kauffman Stadium. It was a lot of people out there. Today, we get an updated number. They went from 22 to 36. It's a significant difference. Think if you got that raise, you'd be living a much better life. Certainly living a lot more comfortably than you would. That's a big jump. 36,000 to me feels about right, give or take. It was about 35, 40,000 people that were out there walking the streets. I haven't heard of any incidents that happened last night from the Orange Walk. Seems like everybody was there. Everybody had a good time. I'm sure by now you've seen the pictures. You've heard the stories. It was a really good time. And then in the game, the Netherlands, they scored 2 goals in the first 15 minutes of that thing and win 3-1. In terms of just all of the surroundings about the World Cup, I mean, I still don't like FIFA any more than you do. Yes, they're charging a lot for a bottle of water. Yes, they're charging a lot for tickets. Yes, they're charging 20% gratuity if you sit down at a restaurant. Yes, all of those things still exist. But if we were talking about the actual soccer competition and Fan Fest, I don't really know if it could go much better than it's gone so far. We're now halfway through it. Even the complaint that people had for the first game, I haven't really heard a lot of complaining about. I didn't hear a lot of problems with the transportation for game 2 or game 3. So we got one more game coming up tomorrow. We also have 2 games coming up in July, a game on the 3rd and a game on the 11th. And the game on the 11th might be one of the 10 biggest soccer games in the history of the sport if you end up getting Lionel Messi going up against Cristiano Ronaldo. Both of those guys are probably done with the World Cup after this. They're going to be too old to do it. Like, this could be the last international game for one of those 2 individuals. So, of whatever vision you had for Kansas City in the World Cup, it has to be exceeding what your expectation is. The weather has been fantastic. The competition has been fantastic. We haven't heard of any major issues. There hasn't been some huge thing that's happened. Everything seems to be running very, very smoothly, and we still got 2 more weeks of this.
I remember Bob was on the show yesterday, and Bob was talking about how he's, frustrated that local media is kind of taking the low-hanging fruit of the handful of pessimistic view stories of the World Cup. And leading into the World Cup, it was a cavalcade of pessimistic stories. I am optimistic, hopeful, starting to believe that the experience and the positivity around what we have seen in the World Cup in Kansas City is going to drown out the naysayers that have been filling the airwaves with negativity about the World Cup. It was all about hotel bookings and airport flights and Airbnbs and blah, blah, blah. And then when the World Cup started, it was, This owner of a bar in Raymore hasn't experienced $1 million boom from selling Bud Light. Those stories, I get they exist and whatever. I think if people notice what is happening in Kansas City, they will notice that it has been an overwhelming positive for the city. Everyone is going to talk about Messi's 39-year-old hat trick in the World Cup. It will always be synonymous with Kansas City Stadium. People, I know it's a small country, but in Curacao, forever, that guy is going to be Tim Howard level of loved. He had 16 saves and led to their first ever point in the World Cup. That is going to be remembered in Kansas City. This Saturday, for all the wrong reasons, will be remembered as a tragedy on the soccer field where neither team wants to win tomorrow, but it'll be remembered in Kansas City. I'm starting to notice the positives are really outweighing the negatives, and the people who were naysayers are getting quieter and quieter as the World Cup continues on in Kansas City.
I mean, I've just been very, very happy with what we have so far. I'm very excited to get the opportunity to go out there tomorrow. Rob is telling me, where do you have me going tomorrow? What am I going to?
You got Algeria and Austria tomorrow.
No, I know that. I mean, there's some game you want me to go to on Strawberry Hill.
You gotta go to Strawberry Hill
where am I going?
You got to go to Strawberry Hill tomorrow. 4 o'clock, Strawberry Hill. There's a bowling alley up there.
What's the name of this bowling alley?
I do not know the name of the bowling alley off the top of my head. There's a bowling alley on Strawberry
Hill Bowling Alley. All
Croatia fans flock to this place. They watch
the
matches.
St. John Catholic Club?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, all right.
Bingo. Go up there, watch
104 years.
Watch Croatia take on Ghana. You will be...
This is inside a church?
It is an incredible experience. That bowling alley is like the size of this studio. It's like hundreds of people cram in there to watch soccer. You will 100% enjoy it.
I'm sitting here, I'm reading this. I didn't know anything about this. Located next to St. John the Baptist Catholic Church, the club originally formed in 1922 beneath the church to serve the neighborhood's predominantly Croatian community. The hall provided a meeting space and fellowship. It's a bowling alley?
It's a bowling alley in a church. I'm telling you.
At the church?
It sounds weird. Go. You will not regret it.
They sell liquor here? I'm sitting here reading it. Have you ever wanted to heave a bowling ball down a slick lane while drinking beer on church property? They'll sell liquor at the church?
I've had beers in that church before.
Oh, I didn't know this.
No, it was for a World Cup match.
I mean, I can't even say, obviously, this has existed for a very, very long time. I had absolutely no clue. I've never been to this place before. But you're telling me tomorrow there's a World Cup game. You're saying I need to go to this.
They are the spot in town to watch Croatia matches. They take it seriously.
4 o'clock. That's what time they play. What time do I need to get to the thing? Like 3 o'clock?
Probably 3 o'clock, 3:30.
Who's Croatia playing? Are they still Are they still in the tournament? Like they need to win?
They need points. They need a win or a draw. So they're pushing forwards. Yes, you will go to there and then head to a bus stop, head to Arrowhead, Kansas City Stadium, and you will have a very fun soccer Saturday for CDOT. Oh, that alliteration worked better than I thought.
I got to root against Ghana though.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one for you.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to root for Croatia because I'm there with all the Croatian people, but I mean, there's not really a scenario. If I was at home watching it, I would be rooting for the Croatian people over the Ghana people. I'd be rooting for Ghana. But you're telling me I got to go. They need to win this. If they lose, are they eliminated? They could be out of the whole World Cup period.
It's possible if they lose, they could be eliminated.
Oh, so it's going to be like this is a big game. Okay, if you're telling me I need to go so I can experience the World Cup, I want to go.
Text line yesterday was talking about it, and I clicked in my mind. For a Croatia, now I wouldn't go up there. I wouldn't be like, hey, man, Norway's playing France, go up there. No. It's got to be Croatia.
I gotta go for the vibes, for the function. No, I will be there. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a day of just celebrating soccer. I've never had a soccer day in my life. I'm going to have one. I'm actually thinking about I was going to invite you. They got a Gym Class Heroes. They're doing a show out of Sporting. You want to go? I want to go.
We're going to see Gym Class Heroes?
I miss Flo Rida.
Are you going to Sheryl Crow?
I don't know any Sheryl Crow song. I know one song. She had that Soak Up the Sun. That's her, right?
She's a tiger, right?
Yeah, M.I.Z., but I don't know any of her songs. I know Gym Class Hero songs. I will go to that. Can you hook us up? You know the people over there at Sporting.
I do know the people over at Sporting.
Yeah, they got to hook us up. I got to send a text to somebody. Put me in the suite with somebody. I need all the fixings. That's what I need. I need the fixings over there at Sporting. But I do want to go. I'll be there on Sunday. All right. So you've heard my plans for the weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to celebrating soccer, and I'll tell you guys the story on Monday about how my soccer Saturday went. My name is Carrington Harrison. Rob is here. We really appreciate you guys this week. I know this week was kind of weird with the amount of day games and the Royal schedule and all of that, but we appreciate you guys nonetheless. We'll catch you guys on Monday. Until then, I'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen,